Aries, June 22nd, I'm going to go all the way to the 30th because we have the full moon in Capricorn. So it's finishing up the month. So let's get just your overall advice for the week, and then I'll look at the energy, love, life, and how to navigate, plus Aries through Pisces. Now, this week could be some choices, and I'm seeing feeling blocked and restrained. And now this week in general for me, the reason why I'm doing the whole thing up to the full moon is that things that have already been in motion are still coming to completion. Things are manifesting, and we don't want to make any kind of huge decisions or shifts this week that could interfere with what's already working, what's already growing behind the scenes. And the full moon is when everything comes to full culmination. So this is going to be a week of, tying up loose ends and maybe having those conversations, closing that chapter, forgiveness, things like that, and kind of working with what you've already started rather than making any complete new starts. That comes after the full moon. Now, the choices that you have this week are feeling blocked and restrained, and you could be feeling like some things are out of your control this week. And this is where the ultimate trust comes in, that if you have made the choices in the past to do certain things or say certain things or decided to, make your peace with something, but you're still waiting for a response from somebody else, there could be an energy of really wanting to move, to push at this and, to try and get something to move. And this is asking you to sort of sit back and allow it to unfold naturally. That things are still working, and even though it might not seem like it's working in your favor in some cases, that you may be surprised, right? But that somebody still needs a little bit more time to process what they're going to do. Now let's see your energy this week and then pull out a card for love and life. Block to me this week could be more of just wait, just hold. God's doing stuff, I have the Ace of Wands here at the bottom of the deck, which is really, it shows you that something's coming, that there's new experiences coming, that there's new things, that communication that you're looking for. We do have pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde. And honestly, it usually does promote, people returning, conversations returning, but it also does show delay sometimes in conversations, and that can be frustrating. So although we may hear from people that we're not quite wanting to, we will definitely notice that sometimes the people we want to seem to be delayed, and that's where you could be feeling blocked. So the choice is yours not to push too quickly at it. It is coming in here with that Ace of Wands. Now, let's see your energy. I'm seeing the Queen of Pentacles. So you're showing up this week in this very, grounded energy, or being asked to kind of tap into this grounded energy, focusing on what's important to you, your responsibilities, taking care of business. If that's your case, that's your jam. Maybe you have a lot of work to do. Maybe you have some new goals, or some things that you have been working on. It could be budgeting, organizing, and focusing on your responsibilities in general. But it is asking you to take care of things that are really important to you, that you have control over, and calmness and patience, and finding ways to do things that make you feel comfortable, and that connect into nature and connect into earth this week too, if you feel very anxious. Now, in love, and the thing is, this card usually plays a lot with this card, right? Because we're seeing with love, the Temperance card, and you are being asked to let things happen, just let them happen naturally right now. There is a spark happening here. There is with this Ace of Wands, right? Maybe you felt it with somebody, but it just seems like it's not going anywhere, or it seems like, you either have to be the one to initiate, or your person or love just seems like it's just way too chill. It just doesn't seem like it's going anywhere unless you pursue. But this is where maybe the lesson is in letting somebody pursue you, and finding that patience in between, you know. And if they're not pursuing you, it could be a sign that this is really not the person that that God wants you to be with. You know, it could be something like that. But the Temperance card tells me, though, that your love life this week, it might appear somewhat chill. And it may seem like, you know, nothing's happening, but there is a lot happening behind the scenes. And it looks as though someone is getting ready to spark up conversation. Now, we will look at what's holding them up with Aries through Pisces, because this card will show that. And I do have a Sagittarius energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy this week. And that can also bring kind of a slower type of energy. It feels like, you know, that's why this week your responsibilities, because with life, the Two of Swords, you have decisions to make, right? There may be a conversation about, you know, your work, your decisions. You have to focus on, if you've been avoiding things with your life, situations that need attention. This is saying handle it. Focus on the things that you need to repair. You know, life stuff, family stuff, relationship stuff, things that you might be avoiding at home this week that you just have to confront, or it could be a problem later on, you know. It's things that, you know, need your attention. And this week, while you're focusing on things that need your attention, it looks as though your love life here is happening behind the scenes. Now, how to navigate this week is the Fool energy. Go with the flow in a sense. And I know this is just such a generic message, but it really is the week where a lot of things that you've been playing out or have already planted the seeds are really starting to come up, and seeing what is manifesting for you before you make any important decisions. And so there are some things that you've been avoiding that Spirit is asking you to focus on in the meantime, and new experiences too, because the Fool energy is your energy. So this week, it's like, if you're asked to go somewhere, you know, somewhere new experiences, go do something, try something new, and trust that not everything needs to have a plan, and that you don't need to have control over everything that happens to you this week, in order for things to actually manifest for you. And that's part of the Temperance card too. Your message, Aries, this week is really to just let things play out organically. All right. Don't let the pressure or stress of feeling blocked or stuck, or feeling like you have no control over a situation. Find something else to do, because it looks like, you know, something big is working for you. But the Temperance card is a card of, I've got to deal with the mundane stuff, and I've got to let things just happen and let go of control. So Aries through Pisces, with an Aries, right? So here you got an Aries sitting with your emotions, all right? Feeling your feelings, even when they don't make sense. So maybe sometimes that impulsiveness that you have is that you want to jump and react because you're feeling a certain way. But right now, Spirit's asking you, God's asking you to sit with your feelings and allow yourself to just, you know, not need to do something or have to have something happen because you're avoiding your feelings. And it could be feelings of fear, like, you know, is somebody not interested? Do I have to have that conversation so that I can feel seen? Right? Or am I learning how to trust that if things are working in my favor, that this person, things will come into light, things will come together. You know, remember, Mercury retrograde does slow down a lot of stuff, and we are in the dark, the pre, which can be even harder. And I'm seeing another Aries here really thinking about their feelings with you. All right. So maybe they're trying to take it all in before they react to the situation. Maybe they didn't realize how much they would, or how much they really were invested in this connection. But to me, it feels like whatever's going on behind the scenes with you and an Aries is allowing them time to really sit with their feelings. Now, Taurus, 4 cups. Taurus isn't sure they want what you want, right? They're not happy or content with really what's going on maybe in their life. And so they're not seeing the value maybe right now of the relationship, or they're not making it a priority. And so you may be trying to show them, trying to give them love, but they are not on the same page right now, right? So now the Four of Cups can be somebody who needs to sit with it a little bit longer so they can realize what they're missing if they're missing you. You know, right now it's still showing that they need to sit with not seeing you so much, maybe you pulling your energy away, so they can become clear of whether or not they're going to miss this opportunity or they care. And this is important for you to know that. Gemini, Knight of Swords. All right. So expect, you know, a Gemini to show up at random times, call you at random times. You know, they're just all over the place. They get distracted easy, and it does look like they're interested in you, and it shows them pulling their energy towards you like they got something to say. All right. So maybe right now with a Gemini, you're going to have to kind of go with the flow a little bit, because Gemini seems to be intentional and seems to really be pulled towards talking to you and connecting with you, but they get distracted super easy. Cancer, the Emperor card. So Cancer tries to control the situation, always control the situation. And so they may be holding back just to kind of make their stance, you know, say what it is. This is, you know, I have feelings for you. They exist, but I will acknowledge them on my own time, and I will tell you when I'm ready. And it kind of can be a controlling energy, and it can be a pain in the ass. And it doesn't have to be so heavy, though. It just means that I want to be the one to pursue. I want to be the one to acknowledge. And I'm definitely feeling pulled towards you because your energy is in their field. Leo, the Empress. So Leo also feeling some sort of love with you, so continues to grow. This could, you know, I don't care if this is a newer relationship or a past relation or whatever, but the relationship continues to grow. So whatever's going on between you and a Leo, the Empress card does require a lot of trust that, you know, you are attractive, you know, you deserve this, that they love you, they want you, don't doubt it. And, you know, things will come to light. They continue to grow. Virgo, Seven of Cups. So you have a Virgo who's got you on their mind, you know, but they get caught up. They get caught up, and they may be fantasizing about you and sees all the possibilities, but they may get in their head, you know, and start questioning if this is what they really want. Are they ready for a relationship? Libra, Ace of Cups. So there's emotional connection starting with you and a Libra. All right. They're invested, or they're becoming invested. There's something opening up that says, I have feelings for you. Scorpio, Five of Wands. So you and Scorpio, a lot of tension between the two of you. There could be some conflicts, some challenges, but nothing that you guys can't overcome. I mean, if it's been too much, or it's too much drama, or it feels like you're always having to fix or do something, you know, you got to make a decision whether or not it's worth the competition, it's worth the challenge. But for some of you, it's just that, you know, we're working through our challenges, and that's it. You know, if we're fighting or arguing, sometimes a little space is good. Sagittarius, looks like Sagittarius is wanting to renegotiate the relationship, or they're renegotiating in their mind what they really want with this relationship and where it could possibly go. It does seem like they respect and care about you. Capricorn, Nine of Swords. So Capricorn really feeling some regret and some heavy concern over the relationship in general, maybe not sure what to say. You know, maybe it's hard for them to say what they want to say, whatever it is. But it's a lot of stress between the two of you, and they're carrying a lot of stress around this relationship. And this could be why it's a little bit slower. They're holding back. They just, you know, not sure, you know, and if they're not 100% sure what they want to say, they don't want to say something and then regret it. Aquarius, Seven of Swords, right? So Aquarius also may be kind of giving off signs, and you just can't trust exactly what they're saying just yet. They're not being 100% transparent with you. Again, it's also another energy. It's like, I don't know what to say, so I'm not going to say anything at all. Or I'm only telling you very little because I'm not sure. Or I'm just not telling you the truth because you won't listen to me, or you won't hear me. So there is some white lies in there when it comes to an Aquarius. So I would just, maybe they're trying to figure out a way to really be open and honest with you, and they're just letting something play out, and they're trying to take the easy way. I don't know. Pisces, Ten of Wands. So Pisces may be taking a break here. They're feeling like the relationship might be getting heavy, or just feels, you know, it's just been overwhelming and wants things to ease up. So remember, I'm influenced by the Temperance card. You know, they just need things to chill out for a bit. Before, now remember, the Ace of Wands here is at the bottom of the deck, which shows, you know, things will come back around. It's just I'm picking up on the energy that's going on behind the scenes. All right, I love you guys. Please comment and let me know if you enjoyed this reading. Taurus, June 22nd through the 30th. I just sounded really high-pitched right there, and I'm so sorry. All right, Taurus, let's get an overall advice card, oracle card first, and then we'll look at love life and the energy of the week and how to navigate it, plus Aries through Pisces. So you are getting find the lesson, discover the purpose in a situation, and trust that you are learning. All right, so yeah, who wants to do this? This sounds like homework from therapy. But it's your communication zone this week. I just feel like talking through things. Maybe we don't know why something is happening or why something did happen, if it's a family thing or if it's a relationship thing. Or you just, yeah, I don't know, went through a breakup, went through anything kind of, you know, it's like really sometimes not everybody's meant to be in our lives at the times that they're there, or, you know, not everything's meant to happen exactly the way we thought it was supposed to happen, but it doesn't mean that you're not loved or that your life, you did something wrong or anything like that. So I think it's really important this week to find the lesson, to look at the meaning behind everything. And maybe, you know, try to look at it from a different perspective. You know, maybe something was meant to happen because something better is coming in for you, or something was said or something happened because it was really holding you back and you didn't realize it, or you had a belief about a belief system about a relationship, and it's been causing a lot of grief in the relationship. So something happens to really expose what we really need to see. And it doesn't determine the outcome of our situation, but it does help fix things and change things moving forward. So let's take a look at tarot and see what's going on in your energy right now. I hope I said that right. I feel like let's see if it comes through again. The Emperor card here. Wanting control over a situation. You know, this feels like sometimes things happen to us and we don't have control over the situation. And so it's really could be uncomfortable for you right now. We are moving towards a full moon this week, and a lot of things could be manifested, things that started, things coming out, things coming up. And the Emperor is your overall energy at the bottom of the deck, which tells me that underneath you just, you know, you like to have control. So when random things come into your life, or things happen that you thought you planned everything perfectly, you thought you had it right, it's where the Emperor card, you know, really can get stuck and really trying to fix something that really might not be fixable, right? This is where you got to trust that the plan is bigger. So your energy, Two of Swords, there you are, maybe feeling indifferent, maybe feeling uncertain about how to feel about a certain decision that you have to make in your life. It can really feel uncomfortable when you can understand something maybe logically, but your heart is still in it. Or you have to make a decision and you know what's right, but your heart is fighting you, right? So, you know, this can be a really difficult situation to be in, because it can almost cause, it's a very huge turning point, right? It can really change us. We can decide to be angry about something, or we can, like I said, see the lesson or discover the purpose in the situation to help us see it better. Because it does feel like maybe you're having to deal with some things that are out of your control, but seem like you feel like you could do something to fix something. So let's see what love says. And I see the Knight of Wands. Love has a kind of a different energy for you here. I see someone where there's a lot of passion, romance, having fun, lighting things up. So this could be where love this week really shows up for you, while maybe you're dealing with something else that has been really keeping you in this place of indifference and uncertainty. It's like this week could be the week where, we're hanging out, we're doing spontaneous things together if you're with somebody, or for some of you who are single, maybe somebody's trying to talk to you, receive it. This could be somebody who might come in and say something that is random, and this guy here can say things that are unexpected as well too. And this could be a person with the retrograde coming in. You may have somebody wanting to talk to you. So before, you get too excited about, this could be where the decision is. You're torn, right? Somebody trying to come back into your life. This is where this card says, during a retrograde, if somebody is trying to come into your life, even if it's a new person, right? You want to take things lightheartedly. You want to have fun. You want to see where things are going. You don't want to get emotionally invested too quickly, especially if it's an ex that's coming back around, because people don't normally stay when it comes into a retrograde. They come back, but they don't ever stay. They're not ever, but it's definitely common, right? So you want to take things slow when you're dealing with new or exes coming back in. But your love life this week looks like it could be really where the magic is. You might be dealing with other things in your life, but somebody is coming in to say, hey, I see you. I want to be around you. So it could be a week of just having a little bit of fun to take our mind off maybe something in your life that's happening. And I do see the 10 of Wands for your life position. So maybe you are having to make some important decisions. You can't do it all yourself, but I do see an energy of trying to control everything that happens to you in life, right? And it's like this guy here won't let anybody help him, wants to make the choices themselves, wants to do everything, wants to fix something. And, this week it looks as though some things just might be out of your hands, so drop the burdens, drop the guilt, drop the worry. If family or friends or work or just life in general just seems to be handing you a dozen million different problems or things or complications. Maybe some of you have just really a lot of things on your back and you're just like, I just don't know. Or maybe some things I do have to decide to let go of. And you're being pulled, it seems, to focus more on finding the flame, finding the spark, focusing on the joy and the love with the people that you can, or the people that are trying to come into your life. Now I'll look at this card and I'll look at Aries through Pisces for you. So we'll see, what the intention may be. I'll look at what might the intention be of the card. But it does seem like you got a lot going on and God sees you and God's saying, you gotta try and find, maybe by looking at things in a different perspective, but maybe you're being pushed to look at the good things that are in your life this week and focus on them. Now, your advice for the week is the 8 of Cups, and this is where it can be a little difficult. You have the 8 of Cups, which is a card of, trying to walk away, trying not to solve something. Maybe some of you are walking away from a situation that, okay, the person was in your life, or somebody or a situation was in your life, but it just wasn't fully satisfying you, it wasn't fully fulfilling you. And so some of you could have an important decision to make this week about what is the purpose of this situation that I'm connecting to. Because think of the 7 of Cups comes before the 8 of Cups. And that is, I have all these options, but am I just settling? Is there more out there? Is there something? Why am I dilly-dallying around with this if they're not going to fully invest? And, this is you learning. Even if you do have people, you don't want to walk away from them. There's a part of you that is saying, I know there's a feeling there, but it's keeping me stuck. And internally, I feel like I'm starting to pull away, and I don't know what to do because I want something to work, but they've been keeping me in an energy for so long and it won't change. So internally, naturally, you're going to feel pulled to need to make a decision because you're longing for somebody to really add to your life, not add stress to your life, somebody or a situation that makes your life easier. So many of you could be feeling pulled this week, and trust in the guidance, even if you're feeling nostalgic and feeling pulled back to somebody who's trying to come into your life in the past, right? This is where, following your instincts, if you feel like, you should move on or move forward, focusing on that. Some of you even could be feeling like you need to get some space from people in general or life in general. But go back to the love situation, because we can get broody in this energy, and it is asking you to, try to find some excitement and joy with partnerships this week when it comes to love, because it is there. Now, let's see Aries through Pisces with this being said. Now, Aries, I see the Chariot card. All right, Aries is showing up in your reading right here. So it does feel like, Aries is like, look, I love his little bugged out eyes. Aries is like, we got this. Let's see where we can go with this. There's a strong pull towards you, regardless of what kind of situation you're in. You do have a lot of fire here because this is the card I'm referencing. And, some of you, this could be a really good moment where it just feels like, yay, finally movement. All right, we're focused, we're moving forward, and something's happening. Hopefully a victory. Taurus, I see the 5 of Cups. So I do see a lot of grief around you. And I didn't want to go diving into the whole life story and scenarios that it could be, but I definitely can see that something's weighing heavy on you. All right. You're not happy with the way something is turning out, and it feels like you have no control over it. And this is where, even with another Taurus, maybe we are trying to move away, even if there are feelings there. Sometimes walking away is not because the feeling's gone, and maybe your Taurus is kind of walking away because, it just feels like it's the best thing to do right now. We find out later that we needed this time. And if we're meant to come back together, we will. But I do feel like you and Taurus are feeling pulled to give each other a little bit of space. Gemini, the Sun card. All right. Gemini just wants to see you happy. Wants to, you may notice that they're expressing themselves a lot more this week. You may get clarity, finally, the truth. The Sun often does bring the ultimate truth to a situation where somebody's speaking from their heart. So if a Gemini is talking to you this week and you feel this real strong spark of a hell yes, it feels like Gemini's being authentic and Gemini's really falling in love or feeling a really good way with you. Cancer, I see 10 of Cups, right? So Cancer, it feels very strongly family energy, like you guys are wanting the full thing. You're wanting the whole show. You're wanting the lifelong, and you can see it with each other. So it feels real. And if they are stuck in a relationship or in a relationship and not happy with that relationship, they've got to decide what they're going to do. That could be where the torn is coming in. But for a lot of you, it seems like there's a strong pull that I really want to make something real with you. Leo, 3 of Pentacles. So Leo wanting to work it out with you too. Leo's like, we got this. We just got to figure out the right key, the right turn, the right combination. We got to figure out how to make it work together and understand each other and respect each other. And sometimes it can be, through a friend, getting advice or counseling, or depending on what kind of situation you're in. But things will work itself out between you and a Leo, and it seems like you both really like what you see or have a lot in common, and we'll figure it out. You guys are just working things out. Virgo, I see the Tower card. So Virgo could be going through a real life change right now. Oh boy, I can't wait to see Virgo's reading. But they might be realizing some major truth in their life, and that can be really hard. Or there's a lot of uncertainty that makes them nervous, about the connection. They just feel like They want stability, and that's it, you know. And if things are too unstable between the two of you, or you know, just seem rocky, you know, that's going to make Virgo super anxious and super nervous about where this is going. So there is some disruption, there is some change happening here with you and a Virgo, and how you guys react to it or whatever. Go back to your message and see what the lesson is. Libra, the Hermit card, right? So Libra may be doing a little soul searching this week, you know. It's like, look, it's just a weekly reading. Libra might be feeling like, I just need to be alone right now. I want to go up on a hill and observe and look down on everybody. No, I'm just kidding. But it does look like I need some space. I need some time, you know. And if this is the kind of person your Libra is, this is the kind of person they are. And so there could be some distance or space between the two of you right now. And, you know, it's just showing that it's needed right now. Scorpio, 2 of Wands. So right there on the fence, you know, you got the 2, Scorpio in it. Something's activated between the two of you. Maybe right now we just need to figure out a plan, you know, and start there before we just jump in or execute. But Scorpio definitely feeling pulled, and there's movement, and you guys are just at a, you know, what is it? You know, oh my God, why can't I think of the word? We're in retrograde. Crossroads there, I'll go with that. All right. Sagittarius, Knight of Swords, right? So Sag got some things to say. Maybe sometimes, you know, they don't come across the right way, or they speak and, you know, can be misunderstood, defensive at times. But it's like, I want to talk to you. All right. So Sagittarius wants to talk to you. Capricorn, 4 of Pentacles. So in Capricorn too, kind of clinging to you, clingy, needy, wants this, wants security, wants stability. But they're holding back a little bit. You got your Capricorn over here going, I got my eye on you. I'm not going to just give it easy. You know, we got control issues over here too. So if you both are dealing with stubbornness or control issues, you know, you guys are scared. All right. But I will tell you that the 4 of Pentacles says you guys have already made it this far. You got something, you're building something. All right. It just looks like both of you are kind of, I'm saying you because you tend to have the 4 of Pentacles energy, Taurus, and I think of you with this energy. And your Capricorn's feeling the same way. So you guys still clinging to each other. Aquarius, Queen of Cups. Aquarius in their feelings. You got them in their feelings. You know, maybe they will express, maybe the Aquarius will be, they'll say something emotional this week that really throws you off, right? So we do have Mercury in Cancer. So, you know, maybe your Aquarius wanting to be all lovey-dovey. And Pisces, same thing. You got 2 of Cups. Looks like you and Pisces could be having a conversation, talking about the past or talking about your own past to each other. And really just wanting to connect with you. So your relationship, you know, is still moving and growing with a Pisces. I love you guys. Gemini, all right. Well, your birthday season is completed. I hope you had an amazing birthday season, but I will say happy birthday for all those last minutes. I'm going to the 30th because we have the full moon in Capricorn on the 30th, the 29th. And so it just made sense. Let's take a look at your energy oracle for the week and love, especially life. And I will do Aries through Pisces. So all in the golden afternoon, creative spark, conception, inspiration, and imagination this week. So this is giving off an Ace of Wands type of energy. And so you might be minding your own business this week, doing whatever you do. And then you have the biggest, craziest idea and feel inspired. And this could be a huge shift in your life. You know, it might be something that just ultimately comes out of nowhere and you decide that you are going down a different road, right? So it could be one of these random things. You might blurt something out, you might say something, you might feel called to do something random with people, with somebody that you are talking to. You may have the courage to open up communication. We are in Mercury retrograde, pre-shadow, which can get kind of heavy. And so you may have the urge to randomly say what's on your mind. Sometimes we can be the ones that return, the exes that call the exes, the people that call their old friends. You may surprise yourself. You may just all of a sudden, I don't know, I want to say get a hair across your ass and just freaking go and do something this week. And it could, like I said, happen randomly. And this can be projects, ideas, creativity, something coming to life, something being conceived. All right, for Geminis. Tower. Pause for a minute. Everybody's like, Tower. Damn, Marsy energy, right? And Mars is going to be entering your sign soon. So, and this is where Mars in your sign, activity, go, restlessness, let's go, and make things happen. So this Tower moment, you could be causing yourself. You might finally please don't leave a job or walk out unless you have something else, or a relationship unless you're 100% sure, or an argument with somebody that you've been just holding back something. If you're in a situationship and you're just tired of it and you're like, this is it, boom. This is the kind of energy. This is the kind of, if somebody owes you something, if you feel like something's been out of balance, who does what, who does more. This is where, you could be handling things, saying things, and being destructive in ways. Destruction is good. Mars is here for a reason. We just want to make sure it's what we really need or want. Making sure your motive, your ammo, and what's really bothering you. But if things have been boiling up and you've been holding on to stuff inside, you may just feel active, really, really ready. You may feel shifted to be like, I am just, boom, I am creating some change here. My Gemini's just like busting out. Now, here's the Six of Cups here for your energy for the week, right? The bottom. And so this is telling me, I said at the bottom, I don't know why I said that, but relationships are really at the forefront this week. Who loves me? Who am I in love with? Some of you could be falling in love with somebody. You might be very attracted to somebody and decide to just tell them all out. You just feel different. Some of you really, there's a past energy here too. You may be thinking about people from the past, reaching out to old friends. A lot of people, think I'm just talking about some ex that's on your mind. I don't care about that ex that's on your mind that you don't care about. If they're on your mind, they're still on your mind. This is about all of a sudden randomly just feeling like calling somebody that you haven't thought about in a while, or somebody doing the same thing to you. And it's also about your need in love. This is shifting this energy. This is who's on my team, who's giving me attention. And if you're needing this kind of attention and wanting this kind of attention with people, there could be some disruptions if you're not getting the attention that you believe you deserve. So you're calling out your true soulmates this week. Or your true soulmates are showing up. You're coming to light who is and who isn't by this full moon, right? So something deep about, maybe who you can trust, who's not paying enough, who's not giving enough, who's not exchanging, you know, equal give and take in a relationship. So let's see love. I see the Magician, Gemini speaking up. You know, this is your communication, your being magnetic, how you show up, how you do things. What you say this week is going to land with a lot of energy. You have a lot of influence this week, a lot of influence. And the way you do things, the way you carry yourself, the way you create things, the way you work, the way you fix things. And in your love department, you're very magnetic with this energy, and people will listen to you. So this goes back to also the Tower card. If you lose your shit, it's going to land with people very, very hard. People will really hear. And if it's not exactly what you really wanted to say, or you wish you had softened it up or said something differently, sometimes it's irreparable. If you don't realize somebody really took something you said to deep heart. So be mindful that there are people around you. There could even be somebody crushing on you, but your words have a lot of weight this week, and your influence over other people. So it's almost like you could say, oh, nice shoes, but give a kind of a weird look, and somebody will be like, oh my God, Gemini doesn't like my shoes. But they're not going to tell you, but you walk away, and this person's going to walk away and be like, think about it all day long, everything you've said. So this can be used to your advantage too. You say the right things this week. You open up, you can deepen trust, you can deepen intimacy this week. You can build relationships, and you can actually use your charm to really attract people towards you this week. Now in life, I'm seeing 3 of Cups. You've got some amazing energy. Now conception is showing up for some of you. So there could be somebody in your life or you that are conceiving this week, or finding out that you're pregnant. And there's obviously celebrating in life, a celebration of life. Maybe some of you with that's been happening a lot. You might hear something about an old friend, somebody that you could be reconciling with, somebody here that's in your energy right now, right? It could be a good friend. You could be hanging out with people, or just spending more time. It looks like the energy is around you making good friends who love you, who really show up. Now, if some of you, there could be a new friend coming into, a random friend to your group. But if some of you are feeling, there could be an unexpected argument between your friends or between the people around you. And for some of you, there could be disruption or change when it comes to, again, your friend group, but the way you feel about your friends, and so be mindful of that this week as well. So let's see your advice. King of Wands. You just have extra power this week. Your words, your fire. Be mindful of texts that you send, things you say you want for your future. Because if you're talking to somebody and you're talking about your future, but other people around you are saying, you didn't mention anything about me being in that future. That's what I mean. Your words and what you're saying land very hard this week. So which also means that the words you're saying too are creating your own future. This could be about your skills, your career, your life in general, and somebody around you really wants to spend time with you, was very attracted to you, but they just don't see how they fit into that future that you have. Now I am seeing Aries, Leo, Sag around you, Gemini, Virgo energy, and you get a lot of water here, so very emotional. It's getting emotional for you. And you are just being asked to be very confident this week and be mindful of the way you express yourself, and you're very magnetic. Now let's see Aries through Pisces. This is the card that's in the love department this week. So I am seeing, you know, words, lots of words, using words from your heart, speaking from your heart, very magnetic and passionate. You know, Leo brings in sexual fun energy, passionate energy, romantic energy. We can make this work. Let's make this work. And it's mutual attraction between you and each zodiac sign, if it fits, right? So let's see Aries this week. I have a 6 of Swords here. You may be going somewhere with an Aries, or going in a new direction with an Aries. All right. It just seems like we're not stuck anymore, confused, or I finally got the answer I'm looking for. So movement with an Aries this week. With Taurus, things coming together with a Taurus. They want the full thing with you. They can see the full picture with you. They can see if, you know, where things could possibly go. Gemini, Page of Cups. So maybe some of you, this conception, remember there's a child showing up here, but some of you, this breakthrough, this wake up, some of you could be realizing how much you really care about somebody and what you really need to do. You may tell somebody that you love them this week. You may have this conversation, and it could be a week of you being very vulnerable too. You may surprise yourself. You really might blurt out something that you're feeling and it actually benefits you, especially with another Gemini. Cancer, 2 of Wands. So you and Cancer, you know, you're in a place where we don't know what the next move is yet. We just need to plan it out, right? We both are feeling pulled towards each other, and we'll figure it out. You guys will figure it out. It looks like you both are kind of envisioning the path ahead. Leo, 2 of Cups. You and Leo continuing to talk and deepen your connection. You could have a conversation this week about what we really need from each other. Virgo, 4 of Wands. Talk about home, right? Coming home, a reunion. We just feel good together. It feels like this could be something solid. So this is a milestone week between you and Virgo. Maybe it's a special anniversary, something that brings you guys together. But I see it's rooted. You guys have already planted some roots. Libra, Justice. So Libra here maybe coming into, you know, they could be feeling guilty about something specific and wanting to tell you the truth about something. All right, so you will get some truth or closure with Libra. Scorpio, 5 of Pentacles. Scorpio struggling with, you know, their own needs and being able to support the situation. They may have a hard time you know, letting others in too. So there could be keeping you at arm's distance. You might be dealing with some stress with a Scorpio or feeling like they're being distant, but they could be going through their own, you know, tower moment. There could be a conversation with you and Scorpio this week about getting needs met. You know, I need to know where we stand. Sagittarius, same thing. Looks like Sagittarius, finally, you got to blurt it out. You got to be blunt. You know, they might be blunt. They might say something. They might, you know, we need to talk about, you know, this relationship and boundaries. Capricorn, it might be hard, but you may be trying to walk away, or they're trying to walk away, not because the feelings are gone, but because they just have this internal compass that's saying it's time. You know, we just need to go our separate ways for now. Aquarius, the Hanged Man. So Aquarius could be pulling away too, you know, just not sure what's next. And so it feels like they're stuck. They don't know what to do. So they're not doing anything. Nothing's changing. And Pisces about, you know, let's make this work. We can make this work. So if there's been any kind of disagreement or feeling like somebody's not putting in the effort, it looks like this week we could be talking about who does what, who needs to do what, who needs to show up, who needs to, you know, participate. I love you guys, Gemini. Happy birthday, Cancer. We are looking at the 22nd through the 30th, right? Going all the way to the 30th because of the full moon. And I hope you have a beautiful season. I'm going to be here with you the entire way. Let's take a look at the oracle for the week, the energy for the week in love and life, and then I'll do Aries through Pisces. Now, look at this. Shine bright like a candle. You will make it through this, right? I don't know if some of you are not happy about your birthday coming in, you know. But it's, to me, the part that stands out the most is shine bright like a candle, because this is your solar return. And this is a renewal period. This is refreshment. This is your time to glow up, shine. And it's a reset for you for the next 12 months. And so it is time for you to absorb the energy, enjoy the energy, and allow others receive. This is a good receiving energy. And so it's your fresh start. It's your personal new year. So, and I do believe happy birthday energy is real, which is why it's good to celebrate, even if some of you don't like to celebrate. Now, if you're going through a situation in your life and you just feel like I don't want to celebrate my birthday because everything's just been so hard, and I just don't feel I'm in a place I should be happy. If there's other people around you that are dealing with stuff, or, you're just having a difficult time in some ways, this is a reminder that this too shall pass. So, and you will make it through this, right? It's just a chapter in our life, in your life. So let's see your energy this week. And Mercury is going to be retrograding in your sign. And so I do want you to be aware, those of you, pretty much a lot of people understand Mercury retrogrades and take them seriously. For those of you that maybe just be hearing about it the first time, there can be a lot of miscommunications, old feelings resurfacing, deja vus. Be careful with your words. You'll notice that I always stutter, or you just got to be mindful of slowing down. Old texts reappear, old exes reappear, and it's in your sign, so it could be really hitting you hard right now, or going to. So it can also be miscommunication of your own feelings. Also, and I'm seeing the Tower card this week, so there could be something that's changing or happening in your life that you have been dealing with or feel is coming. There could be a shift coming in your life that you just know it has to happen, or it's about to happen. Some of you could be moving, changing jobs, changing relationships, whatever it is. But this is necessary. This is putting you on a different course. It's course correction. It's a wake-up call. It's a chance to start over, start again from something that is more grounded. All right, so Tower energy this week, it could be a lot of uncertainties happening this week. And I have the Queen of Wands here at the bottom of the deck, which is, asserting yourself, taking charge, and getting things done when it's necessary to get things done, and remaining confident this week that you can pull through this. Right? You may have a lot of things to do. Sometimes this is packing and moving and shifting and grinding, and but if some of you have a vision of your future that requires a major change in your life, God's going to do that. So if you've been talking about a huge move and your heart is there and you're wanting to do a different career or be in a different relationship, those of you that are in relationships and you've been fantasizing about a different relationship for years, I'm telling you, you manifest. I did it. And it happens, and then it happens, and then you wish you never did it. So things like that can happen, but God is going to give you what you want one way, if it's meant for you, which means that something has to be taken out so something can replace it. And that can be what is happening. So in love, we see the Hanged Man. Things have been stagnant and stuck when it comes to love for you. It just feels like you don't know which way you're going. This could be this full moon that's opposing you. It could be a full moon that really finally shows you or defines where things are actually going, right? So maybe things have been stuck for a while. Maybe some of you have had to be in a situation where I just have to surrender. And if you're going through a Tower moment this week, the Hanged Man is saying, let this transition happen. Because sit with it for a little bit, give it a little space as something is coming up or changing, because we will know where it's going It'll be defined. If something is not stable, it looks like it'll be released here, you know? And if some of you have been stagnant in love, it looks like it's finally going to reach a point this week, you know, or the full moon, where you finally do something about it. Now in life, I see the Death card. And let's see your advice, the Four of Cups. I can see that a lot of you, this can be a hard energy. And for Cancer, it looks like maybe your love life has been on hold or has been stagnant, and there has been some major awakening, or epiphany or life change or death or grief that's gone on in your life. Something has seriously changed or come to an end, and you've been stuck in it for quite some time, the Four of Cups. And maybe you are at a point where you just can't, you want something to be different, you want something to change, but you're not sure what that looks like, you know, or you haven't been sure what it looks like. Cancer, you're getting a break out of this. All right. It's like a complete something, a chapter here, something major. Maybe some of you losing somebody that was close to you. You're going to make it through this period of your life. If some of you love has been stagnant or on pause, I will look at Aries through Pisces and see maybe this isn't the time where your love can really connect with you if you've got too much going on in your life. If you're sad or you're still processing or grieving the loss of something in your past and you can't let go of it, this is keeping you stuck in your love life right now. You know, it's like something is time to let go of something. It's time to move on from something is what I'm seeing for my Cancers. Now, this doesn't have to be, this is with life too, like something in your life that you just know you got to let go of and, you know, finally pack up and move on from it, so you can give yourself this new start. And the Queen of Wands and the Page of Wands underneath that is talking about you having to be the one to also initiate some of this change, like onward and forward, create a new vision for myself, especially if you're unhappy with you don't see things changing in your situation. Some of you might be seeing like nothing has changed. So something does have to change. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. And, you know, I just kind of feel like it's a very emotional, you know, week for you. But how can I say that this week itself, up into the full moon, is a week of completions and things manifesting and truths coming out and things clearing up so that we can move forward, you know. So that's why this energy here is showing that, you know, an ending is, a completion is coming in, which resets everything for you to have a clear, fresh start. Aries, I see the Devil card within Aries. All right, so I'm referencing here the Hanged Man. All right, it feels like something's not changing, something's not going anywhere. And with an Aries, there's a strong attachment between you and an Aries. You guys are very sexually connected and really feel a strong pull, and they tempt you constantly, and they may be your drug, right? But the thing is, you know, is it going anywhere? Has it been going anywhere? And if you're Four of Cups in it and you're constantly feeling this energy, it's draining you. So you may be confronting some thoughts or some realities when it comes to an Aries. And if there's an addiction that's, you know, maybe this is a wake-up call for you and an Aries. Taurus, I see the Ace of Pentacles. So you have a fresh start with the Taurus coming in. So there could be a Taurus trying to enter your life. It could be a new Taurus trying to enter your life. It's clarity coming in on a direction of a relationship is ultimately your love story this week. Is it going somewhere or is it not? And that's been the story the last 2 weeks. It's often comes back around because in love, that seems to be the story. But a Taurus wants something with you. Gemini wants something with you as well too. I have very emotional messages, you know, an honest "I love you" or honest crush on you. It could even be a new Gemini, but your relationship seems to be growing. Whether or not you feel fulfilled with it, that's a different story. Do you really see it going anywhere? Because that's also, you know, your person could be loving on you, but it's still not good enough for you. It's not what you want. So you may need to ask yourself if this is really what I want. Cancer, Queen of Swords. Discernment this week, discussion about the truth, about the future this week. Maybe you and another Cancer really discussing, and not taking things personally, but really discussing where you both see things going. So I do see an important conversation with you and a Cancer. Leo, Nine of Pentacles. So Leo, available, single, and ready to mingle. You know, they may be enjoying their bachelor life. They may be enjoying their independency. It doesn't mean they're not invested, but it looks like they're showing up. It looks like they want to, they're interested in you. They see your value, but they definitely could be challenging if they're wanting to spend time alone with themselves a lot. Virgo, Six of Cups. Virgo seems to be your match this week. Six of Cups. I'm on the same page. I love you. I just can't get my eyes off you. So I see a Virgo trying to come into your life. You know, maybe letting things be as they are. Try not to force things, but it looks like naturally they're just falling for you. Libra, the Temperance card. So things kind of still stagnant and not really going anywhere with a Libra. Could they let things happen naturally? If they're meant to, they will. But if you have to force it, you're dealing with the Hanged Man and the Temperance card. I mean, it's just like, come on already. You know, how long am I going to wait for this to happen? You know, some points, you know, we got to make a decision, or else it will weigh on your soul. Scorpio, the Judgment card. So Scorpio on the same page. Scorpio ready to make a decision. They might be dealing with some hard truths in their life. They may be making some important decisions. It's where I do have a lot of people dealing with death around me, and it's funny. It's all these coffins. It's not funny. Believe me, it's not funny. But Scorpio could be making a huge decision this week, one that will affect the course of the relationship. Sagittarius, the Moon card. Things are still uncertain with a Sagittarius. I mean, it's just, you know, dreaming, but I'm not seeing any signs, or they come around and a cycle after cycle and things don't always change, or they just repeat themselves. And it can be hard because you're very emotional about a Sagittarius, and Sagittarius definitely has feelings for you. But the question is always whether or not things are going to change. Capricorn, Eight of Wands. Cap's in a hurry. Capricorn's like, you know, here we go. The pressure's on. You know, we got it. It's pretty intense. It could get intense between you and a Capricorn, but it's something's pushing you guys forward. Aquarius also is not losing faith in this connection with you two. You know, it's like we both kind of want something from this, and we both are seeing, you know, where this could go, the possibilities. And you know, so I do see, don't lose hope when it comes to an Aquarius. And Pisces, the Wheel of Fortune. You know, so it feels fated between the two of you. You know, something keeps you guys coming back around for a reason, and they feel it too. So this could be another come around when it comes to a Pisces. Love you guys. Leo, June 22nd through the 30th. Let's take a look at the week ahead. All right, so I'm gonna look at your energy, love, life, and then Aries through Pisces. So let's get the overall oracle. Messages from a rabbit. Let's see. All right, so I wonder what will happen next. I wonder. Get ready to adventure. You're on the precipice of change and the pause before action. How exciting is that? All right, Jupiter is entering your sign soon, and Venus is in your sign. And I just did Cancer's reading. I felt really bad because it feels like Cancer is closing some really hard chapter in their life, and you know, they just come through. And then I got Leos, and I feel like the last couple readings I've done for you have really just, and it's not just because I'm paying attention to the transits that's going on. It's like your cards and everything that's vibing with it are just showing that. Get ready. I wonder what will happen next. Maybe you don't be prepared. It could be something, God has something bigger planned than you can imagine. You know, so some of you, things are quiet for a reason or have been quiet for a while. A lot of things have been happening behind the scenes. Maybe you've been kind of closing chapters, cleaning things up, finishing things, you've been resting, getting ready to shine, because we're going through Cancer season, and Cancer season for you would be, you know, sort of the quiet before, you know, you're the show, you're the one that comes in, you know. Cancer's on stage right now, and you're preparing for your moment to shine. So it's rest. You know, put some cucumbers on your eyes. Get ready for the main events. The Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. All right, so it's a feeling of wanting the real thing. There's something maybe going on internally where you're questioning your alignments, your commitments, your health, you know, where you've gone, if you're going to school, you know, where your career is. I mean, there's a lot with the Hierophant that says my obligations. What am I obligated to? Is this really in alignment with me? Do I need something different? Am I ready for adventure? Have I been doing all these things and been so accomplished and been so serious for some time that now it's time for me to glow and have fun? Is there something I need to close the chapter on, learn the lesson, and be done with it? Are you wanting the real thing? If you're connecting with people that are not the real deal, I mean, and you know it, but you persist, this is one of these things where the Hierophant's going to get louder, and it's going to be, you want somebody committed, you want the real deal, you want the real price, you want the goodies. Then stop collecting chump change, stop hanging out in the possibilities, you know, take the signs and leave, right? You know, so figuring out your patterns and what are you making yourself obligated to that is a waste of your time. Basically, I just kind of gave you you're like, I came here for a reading, not to get a whooping. Let's see. The Seven of Swords is your energy, though. What's right? You know, what are you lying to yourself about? What are you hiding? What are you not fully saying? Sometimes this card, you know, we've been talking about this the last couple of days a little bit. It's been coming up for a lot of people. And a lot of people hate this card, and they see it and they automatically, you know, think deceit, think all kinds of, and yes, it is. It's not the nicest card. It can be, not everybody's being honest with you, or you're not being honest with yourself. But sometimes people are tiptoeing around the truth because they want to avoid change. They want to avoid any complications, or they get stuck in routines and, you know, find other things to do. But the real problem is you're stuck, or you're bored and you don't want to be there, or you're avoiding the change that you know you need to do. And it's going to disrupt. So there is an energy of frustration when it comes to the truth or being transparent, and people not being 100% transparent with you. So if you are connected with people and you just feel like you're always having to put on a show, or they're putting on a show, this is not gonna, it's not gonna, you might deal with it, but you want the real thing. Remember the Hierophant. And if you're wanting the real thing, and it's going to stand out in your face louder and louder and louder, especially with retrograde going on, and, you know, possibilities of exes showing up, people coming back and saying the same thing over and over and over, broken promises, things that, you know, you've heard before. but also that can bring in things you've heard before, promises, and then do they follow through, you know? And there's trust issues with what you're seeing. So this is where it's like retrograde, you got to pick through and piece through what you really want to, you know, feel obligated to even give your time to. Now in love, I see the Three of Pentacles, trying to make it work, trying to make it work. It's not that it's not possible. A lot of you, the Three of Pentacles, there could be somebody around you, somebody trying to work their way to you, somebody trying to talk to somebody about you. You don't have to chase. You just need to be around and make yourself visible. And that is important with the Three of Pentacles. You got to be seen. You have to be operating in some way or fashion, or being at a place. You can't always be at home and hope that it's going to find you. But this is work, getting together, community, you know, supporting. If you're with somebody, it feels like we're trying to make it work. We're going to make it work. You know, but that also can be what's next, though. You know, maybe some of you are liking where you're at. You're liking the people that you're talking to, or you see possibilities with the people that you're with. But you're questioning what's next. You know, I want the next step. Maybe some of you want to make it real. Some of you want to define the relationship and make it more stable so you feel more secure, more financially secure. And so for a lot of you, what I'm seeing here is you're facing some truths about love. Is this person going to commit and we're going to build something together? Are we going to move in? Are we making it work, but it's kind of blah, you know, it's like, it's okay. Is this really what I want? Is this the real deal? So you're figuring this out this week, and we have the full moon coming up. So it's going to, you know, sort of, things are going to reach their conclusion of whether or not something can work or something can't. And this is telling me that you have a lot of support around you, and you do have situations that seem like they are growing regardless, but it comes down to what's next. Because if you're questioning what's next, you know, is this it? You know, so that's what that means. Like, okay, so I've got this person, they're talking to me, but now what? What do we do? That's the energy of the next coming week. And it's like, and there's room for expansion, but maybe right now we're trying to figure out whether or not I'm being honest with myself. Is this the person that I want to expand with? So let's see life. Nine of Cups, cheerio. It looks like some good stuff when it comes to life. So it looks like you are hitting a good zone here when it comes to being very satisfied and happy with your everyday. This is self-care too. So if some of you, there's things about, you know, where you work too much, or your health and things like that could be really coming out. Your career, your health, things every day. Are you feeling fulfilled? I always look at the card in both directions. You know, some of you, it looks like you got everything the way you want it. It feels good. It feels like things are starting to expand. Things feel like they're flourishing. And if some of you, if you're feeling like, you know, it's not quite exactly, I'm content, but I want more. This is what I'm seeing, is that the contentment is coming from, I have everything I need, but I just feel like something's missing. So your advice is the Seven of Pentacles, which makes sense because this card tells me you're okay where you're at. It seems to be working for you. But there are some of you that are in denial about, you expected more, you wanted more, or you need more, or, you know, you're getting bored with the same old routine. And there's going to be a lot of you during this retrograde that may be bringing up old feelings that you've buried. You may be kind of looking at the past and the choices you've made, and you were expecting more from where you're at today. And so this is a review, sort of a life review, a career review, a health review. Some things could be holding you back too. If it is health or routine, you know, this is where some of you, if you're not feeling 100% satisfied, it could be because it's the things that you do every day, habits you have that are getting in your way of growing. And so this is where the Three of Pentacles is like, we have to kind of take a look at what we're avoiding. and what we need to work on to make it move, to make it go. And so this is this. If some of you are needing more adventure or needing something more in your life, this is going to be the week where you're facing some of these truths. They will come out one way or another. You know, you can only hide your truth for so long. The retrograde will make your, you know, those inner things, those subconscious thoughts very loud. So with love, we're seeing Three of Pentacles. And I'm going to reference this with Aries through Pisces for you. So Three of Pentacles can say, it works. It works. We're making it work. Sometimes it feels like I'm doing more work and I need them to put more effort in. So maybe we need to discuss that. And sometimes it's more of a, all right, we work well together, we're friends, but there's no passion. And then sometimes it's, it seems like something's growing here, but it still lacks, it still feels friend zoney. So with that being said, I'm going to go through Aries through Pisces and see what could be manifesting this week by that full moon with each zodiac sign. And remember, the Seven of Swords is here. And that's your energy. So if there's somebody that you just can't trust or you're really not into it, it might show up too. So Aries, Nine of Swords, there seems to be a lot of regret, a lot of things that's happened in the past with you and Aries. So it is about you being honest with yourself. Can you fully forgive an Aries? Are you sure? You know, there seems to be doubt, regret, a lot of stress and worry. You know, can we make it work? And this is going to be one of these weeks where, you know, you got to be honest with yourself. Do they put in enough effort? Are they trying? Is this fixable? Do you really want this? You know, you may get, I'm sorry, let's fix this, but that doesn't mean that it's going to change anything. Taurus, I see the Empress, right? So a lot of love growing between you and a Taurus. You guys can make it work. Maybe there's some trust issues between you and a Taurus that can be inherited. It can be that you're just naturally afraid to be 100% all in until you know. You might be worried about something, and it looks like the love is growing between the two of you. So it's just a learning curve. You know, it's where do we need to fix things? But also the Seven of Swords, though, too, you need to ask yourself, are you being honest with yourself? Do you really want to fix things? Do you want to make it work? Gemini, the High Priestess, right? So Gemini pulling away a lot, which makes you maybe not trust them. They're trying to figure out, they have more feelings than they're letting on, but they're trying to figure out if this can work, if they want to make it work. They're feeling a strong spiritual pull towards you, but maybe they feel like you don't trust them. Cancer is opening up their heart. I am seeing a fresh feeling, you know, a new feeling towards you. So an offer could be coming in with a Cancer. And Leo, you have the Four of Wands. So I just see growth and expansion when it comes to your roots in your home life and your everyday, who comes home to me, who's in my life. And you're really trying to establish, if you look at the Hierophant and the Four of Wands, you're really trying to establish a traditional family setting, a real committed, you know, sense of this is where I belong. This is who belongs with me. And that's coming through when you're reading strong today. And these values are coming up really strong. So you will be maybe questioning a lot of your relationships. But you and another Leo, seems like you belong together, right? You want it. Virgo, allow things to happen naturally with the Virgo. I mean, if it's going to, it will, you know, that's it. If it's going to, it will. The Temperance card says, you know, if you feel this divine energy and you truly believe in the divine and you say that we're divine, we are healing, we're whatever, then let it go and let it be, because that's what it means to say, I believe in divine. I know it's going to happen. Let it happen naturally. You don't have to do anything if something is going to vibe together or come together, or you'll be inspired to do the right thing at the right time. Libra, Knight of Pentacles. So Libra, all about working this out. But Libra, maybe you don't trust Libra because they don't always follow through with their plans. But it seems like they're trying, all right? They're overly cautious. very overly cautious, and they want to make it work, and they're perfectionists. And so maybe sometimes you're questioning whether or not you want this to work with a Libra, because maybe they are too perfectionist and maybe it does stress you out. Scorpio, the Emperor card. So Scorpio, all about making it work. All right. They hold back. They like to maintain control. But they know what they want. And it looks like you may get a Scorpio initiated and trying to make a plan here with you. Sagittarius, the Devil card. So maybe you can't trust the Sagittarius, okay? I can see you guys still getting together and trying to make it work with the Three of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. But the thing is that if there's some cheating going on or something that's dishonest, or they're just a temptation and you know they're bad for you, or somebody's lying, or somebody has repeatedly done something that hurt the other, you guys have a strong attachment towards each other. And you're trying to make it work, but the only way it's going to work is if we can build trust. And if we're not able to build trust, we're just going to keep repeating this same pattern here, and not trusting each other, so it can become unhealthy. Capricorn, same thing, the Ten of Wands. It feels like, they find it too hard, too heavy, and you just don't know if you can trust them to always put in the work, or trust them to make it work. It's very stressful energy. So might be being real with ourselves when it comes to a Capricorn, realizing that things are just getting kind of too much. They're not always honest with you, and they keep things to themselves, which can stress you out. Now, with any of these relationships, it does show me that you can make it work, but whether or not you're being honest with yourself of whether you're going to be happy or not is the question. Aquarius, I'm seeing Three of Swords. So I am seeing some disappointment, or a situation that you thought would turn out better is turning out, not the way you planned. All right. So I am seeing maybe a separation with an Aquarius. Pisces, could be moving on with a Pisces, finally getting over something, or maybe finally making a choice to move on. It could go either way with a Pisces, but we need to clear things up and both be on the same page. I love you, Leo. Virgo, June 22nd through the 30th. Let's take a look at the week theme. What's coming in love life, and Aries through Pisces. All right. Virgos, believe. So to start the week, you have believe. Believe there could be some strange encounters that happen. Believe in the impossible. Believe, maybe something happens this week and, you just can't believe your eyes, right? You see something that is so weird or so impossible. Like, how did that happen? Which gives me an energy of, how did it happen? How does it happen? Who knows? That's why we don't know how things happen, or why things happen, or how things can be possible, because that's why we have faith in God, and miracles do happen. And so anything is possible when it comes to this kind, any day, any time, but this week in particular. Pay attention to encounters that you have, people that you talk to. Somebody may be holding the information that you need that you didn't know, and a situation in your life that you thought would be completely impossible to turn around could actually turn around, or could change, or could show up, or something amazing. So you know what? I'm going to send that out to you, that whatever it is that you think is completely impossible to turn around, you may be walking into a different timeline. You may be on a different timeline by the time the full moon comes up, and just kind of looking back at this reading and going, holy shit, right? So I hope that that is for all of us, that we're just like, I cannot believe my eyes. So let's take a look at tarot. For my Virgos. All right, Ace of Swords. Voila. This is where the clarity comes in. The answers, the challenging questions being solved. the knowing, the not being able to unknow something. We do have retrograde. Mercury rules your sign, so this could be really affecting you. This is where you finally make a decision. Somebody maybe makes a decision, you know, somebody comes around, you hear from somebody. Maybe there's a reconciling here of an argument we've recently had, something we're revisiting. It could be from anybody in your life, with it being this energy right here. It starts. It's like it's got to start somewhere. And I cannot believe that this is how it started. Some of you, a friend might confess feelings, a strange encounter with somebody at a grocery store or anything could end up being the one. And you know, obviously it's retrograde, so you have to, and it could be somebody random, somebody you haven't thought about in a while, but they come into your life, they cross your mind. But it's not nothing, but it's something to maybe move slowly into. Because if it's meant to last, it will last after the retrograde. But sometimes when things get started during a retrograde, especially when exes come back or things like that, you just have to be mindful that, you know, things can happen, but we want to make sure they sustain. All right. So I am seeing here that this is where the communication could happen, the insight could happen. Now, your energy, the Page of Cups, a very loving energy coming off here. Your creativity and your romantic life is being hit, or there's something being said. You may say something to somebody about how you feel. You may be wanting to express how you feel. And some of you may be feeling an old need to draw or write something or create something with the Ace of Swords and the Page of Cups. You may write something or write to somebody and tell them how you really feel. So you may be feeling very emotional, but in a very happy kind of way. It's very childlike. It's like, I just want to be honest. I just want to open up and I want to be vulnerable. So you could be feeling this, and this could be internal. It doesn't mean that you're going to be going around confessing to everybody how you feel. But there seems to be this energy around you that you really want some love, and you want to give love and show love. So in love, let's see, Page of Pentacles, right? So that's a good start. We have a slow and steady start here. And that goes with what I was just saying about the retrograde. It feels like a friend, somebody around you, or a relationship is starting to develop. All right. And maybe your feelings, you're really ready to express how you truly feel. And, you know, and it looks like you're both, your person or the people that you're connected to might be a little bit slower to express their feelings, but they are there. All right. This could also be, like I said, a friend that wants to, they might show up a little bit more active around you. They might be doing things that reveal some weird energy. Like you're like, that's strange. Why did this person text me? Why are they doing this? Why are they, you know, making it a point to walk by me? You know, just some random things. Pay attention to that, because it looks like somebody is really, really trying to put forth some effort to get your attention. And there is a lot around words. Now, they may be slow to express their feelings, which maybe you're wondering, but that's why pay attention to their acts of service this week. And somebody randomly could be connecting with you that starts off and you don't even realize it, but this could be the person that you end up with. You could meet somebody at a gathering or going out and just say hi and talk. And there's something about it that's weird, but you don't know what it is yet. So this could be something that comes out later in your life. I mean, later in the year or later in the month. It could start developing into something more. Now in life, I'm seeing the King of Swords, right? So you got to plan, start planning. It looks like life, you're being asked to look at your worldview. You're being asked to kind of take a look at where your focus is. What's the bigger picture? Do you have that in mind? Are the things that you're working on right now in alignment with what it is you truly see or want in the future? You may be making some plans or starting to, you have the Ace of Swords here. So this can be signing contracts or making deals or finally seeing a clear vision about what it is that you want to do. If there's something big that you're trying to work towards, a very passionate career change or pursuit, or a move like homesteading. I always say that's what I want to do. It's like, where do we start? Is this where we initiate and we finally see a clear opening, maybe making a decision about purchasing something, doing something, getting that place, or calling somebody and asking about what's the next step. So I am seeing a very influential person in your life. Something is growing. There's conversation obviously happening around you, a lot of conversation with friends, groups, community, and also the vision for your future. So you could be talking or meeting people, and they're bringing up topics or things that are worth talking about because somebody may have some insight with some information that can help you grow. Now, your advice is the Tower card. All right. This can be a tough one because this is dealing with uncertainty and dealing with not always knowing or being guaranteed if something is going to work. The Tower card is happening all the time right now. It just seems like everything is so unpredictable and uncertain in our lives. And one day it's one thing, and the next minute it's something else. And be mindful of your reactions to situations, because I've even recently caught myself overreacting to a trigger and didn't realize it was a trigger. And something bothered me so much. But then the next day I was like, why did that bother me? And then everything was totally different. So you are being asked to be mindful of your reactions and what's going on in your inner world, and finding ways to find stability even when things are uncertain or you don't have any guarantees, because there is no guarantees in life. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go into Aries through Pisces. I want to say one more thing with the Tower. That is also the strange encounters and the not always knowing why something is happening. We don't always see the results just yet, but random things could be happening in your life and you just don't know what it doesn't seem. It seems like, why is this disrupting my life? But why is this happening? Why is this not happening to anybody else but me? And then later on, you realize that whatever was happening right now, what did have a purpose, and it was to clear the way for what's really meant to come in. So you're not going to have a definite or an understanding of everything that's going on in your life all the time. And I think part of that is with the South Node in Virgo is not having everything so perfect and so laid out and, guaranteed. It's just not going to happen. So Page of Pentacles, we're going to go through Aries through Pisces. You are showing up as the Page of Cups, right? So I can see that you're crushing on somebody. I see that you have a lot of love for somebody, or you really want to deepen your love with somebody. Now, the person in your love life is the Page of Pentacles. So it looks like slow start, but a solid start, Now, whether or not somebody is breadcrumbing you or somebody is just only friend zoning you will show up in the Aries through Pisces portion. Aries, 3 of Pentacles. You and Aries, all right, it's coming together. I love it. It seems like you guys have a lot in common, and it seems like you guys have, things that you need to work on, right? And you have love growing, and you're in the early stages, and it seems like we just have a pace problem. We have somebody that's a little bit more cautious, and or moves at a slower pace. But I do see a possibility here of you guys really making it work, just allowing it, just figuring it out as you go. Taurus. A Taurus could be dealing with some sadness, some grief, disappointed at the way things have turned out for them and or the situation. You may get an I'm sorry here. It seems like there's some love growing between you and a Taurus, and there is a chance here for you guys to really figure this out. You know, maybe it's I misunderstood. I didn't understand exactly what was going on or how you were feeling. So I am getting a strong sense of a reconciliation with Taurus. Gemini trying to move on. It's not easy, but it's just they feel stuck and they feel like they need to figure out their own purpose. So this could be where you are feeling something with a Gemini, but they're only given very little of themselves. And it feels like they need to go figure out what they really want. Cancer, Queen of Swords. So Cancer is just discerning, you know, they're judging the situation. They're looking at everything. They're trying to see your perspective. And so I do see a cautious energy here with Cancer. Maybe they just trying to figure you out, right? So communication coming in with a Cancer, and I'm still seeing a slow build. Leo, Six of Pentacles. All right, so it looks like kind of a friend zone here with the Leo, but it doesn't mean that it can't go further. Now, this could be a Leo, that a friend that turns into something more later. Maybe it's just getting started, but you may start to notice them put in some effort in, and it's moving slowly, but they have a lot of respect for you and care for you. This could be where your feelings are growing faster and you're wanting things to move a little bit faster. I do feel let it happen organically. Virgo, Four of Pentacles, right? So letting go of control, Virgo. You want everything to be perfect, and before you give your heart, you want consistency, and you want security, and you want to know everything's in a plan and everything's happening and everything is guaranteed, and that's not going to happen. And Virgo, you are being asked to let go a little bit here with that Four of Pentacles. You're trying to control everything to feel safe, and that can be a trauma response. And so a lot of us Virgos, you know, maybe need a lot of growth through therapy and inner work this year, you know, especially with Jupiter and Leo, right? And especially if we're having a hard time letting go of our control issues, and because that's blocking some things from happening naturally. And I do see you and another Virgo kind of dealing with the same thing. It's like, but you guys can get caught together and stay together, but you can also be very rigid and try to control everything. So learning to ease up so we can grow, because you both want to see it grow. Libra, Ace of Wands. So Libra coming in to spark some fire and joy, all right? They want things to be exciting. They want, you know, this could be even a new Libra trying to enter your life. But something sparking between you and a Libra. And Scorpio, Seven of Swords, all right? So honest conversation needs to come through with you and a Scorpio. We're not being 100% real here, so there could be some tiptoeing around a problem or tiptoeing around the truth. So we need to discuss what's really happening with you and a Scorpio. Sagittarius, King of Pentacles. Sag is all about making a plan for the future. They see a plan for you in the future, but they're also somebody who does not, you know, like to get stuck. And, you know, they could be fearing commitment and being stuck in a routine. But that doesn't mean that they're not grounded or they're not seeing a possibility of a future with, so slow and steady with you and a Sagittarius. Capricorn, Five of Pentacles, right? So Capricorn here and you kind of dealing with problems, and not always, it doesn't always feel like they're on your page, or they're always, you know, putting in a lot of effort. Maybe they are struggling with other things going on, who knows? But I can see with the Capricorn, though, you may be getting very little because that's all they can give, or that's all they're wanting to give right now. Aquarius, Knight of Pentacles. So Aquarius stepping their game up, all right? It looks like they are really seeing the importance of this connection, and they want to see it through. So we're seeing from a page to a Knight some improvements within Aquarius. And Pisces, right? You just have a Pisces who's very independent, and they're slow to commit, but they are looking like they value you and they want this, but they're very slow to commit. I love you guys. Libra, June 22nd to the 30th. Let's take a look at the week ahead, love life, and I'll look at Aries through Pisces for you. All right. No Need to Fear is the oracle I'm pulling for you from the Alice in Wonderland deck. And remember how powerful you are. So it does seem like maybe some of you have been getting caught up a little bit, and where are things going, what's happening, is this going to be the way it is for a while? You know, I just hear a bunch of things coming out of this. It's like, I want things to work. It seems like I give my all, and then, it just seems like I want something more. It just gets that energy, but and it can start to set off a panic button, and when everything is okay, it's like, it just seems quiet, or it seems like, how am I going to make this change? How am I going to make this happen? But you might be pulling into some inner strength this week to try and pull yourself up out of some little ruts that you might find yourself falling into. There is no need to fear. I mean, sometimes there's really nothing going on, or crazy stuff going on, because it's a time to settle, time to rest, and time to focus on maybe areas that we have forgotten about in our life. So let's take a look at the week ahead and see what's really going on. Oftentimes when we have an energy like this, it could be because of home roots, family matters, things that just feel uncertain. And once you start worrying about one thing, you start thinking about everything. And it can spark up your core root system, where you just feel like something doesn't feel stable. And I'm feeling it. But this is where the stability comes from, internal, no matter what's going on the outside, being able to stay grounded, and regulated, no matter what's going on or what seems to be or appears to be going on with the people around you. Now, the Ace of Swords is the energy that's activating this week. And I have the Two of Wands. So you can see this energy of possibilities. You can see that, I want to make plans. I want to do something. I'm feeling pulled to do something. I've got this energy. I've got these ideas. Maybe I'm revisiting some ideas. The Two of Wands can talk about partnerships this week, and conversations, and meeting up with people, and maybe making a decision about a matter. So you could be reaching a turning point, with the Ace of Swords. You may finally get that message that helps you make a decision when it comes to what's unsettling you. You may want to take a look at some of the information that's coming with you. It doesn't mean you have to jump into every thing that comes your way. And then you have a no need to fear here. So there is an energy of, well, I'm being offered this, or I'm seeing an opportunity, but do I really want this? Is this going to be something that will take me further, or will this be something that is holding me back from something I really want? So there is a decision around, what can I do? What should I do? And what am I waiting for, type of energy. We have a pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde, which can obviously bring back something that was signed before, something that wasn't signed, something that you may have thought about or talked about, even professionally. This can be an application. This can be anything like that that was talked about before, and maybe you thought it was settled, but something could be coming back around that you need to review. A new position, a new situation that is a little bit different from the past, but it's something that maybe you've passed by. Could be another opportunity that you are hearing about this week. So be open with that. And it does ask you to, you might be up against a choice, though. If this is a situation that has to do with signing something, or a contract, or mediation, or anything, or a difficult conversation that you might have to have, this is where the Two of Wands is telling you not to have any fear about what you have to say or what you have to do, and give something a shot and see where it takes you. But then I'm seeing some of you may be questioning it, because if somebody's coming back with an offer that you've done before and you've put a lot of energy into it, there could be this question of, is this worth my investment? You have the Ten of Pentacles and you have the Five of Pentacles, which tells me somebody may have offered something to you before, but and you saw great things and you saw possibilities, but maybe now you're reconsidering an old thought or an old situation or an old flame, and you're thinking, I don't know, maybe I'm in a different place. Do I really need that job? Do I really need that situation? Do I really need this problem in my life now, when before I was so ready to confront it? And now it looks as though maybe some of you are ready to move on from something and you want something new, and you're not quite sure you want to revisit or go back. So let's see how in love this might be playing out. So in love, I'm seeing the Queen of Pentacles. It really feels like you're coming home to yourself. You know, there could be a person of influence, obviously, with this card here. This could be family, friend, coworker, it doesn't matter. And if they make a conversation or a situation may come up, and it could be a relationship issue. There could be somebody that is related to you more so through work or through family that could be bringing in a situation around love. So this could be a friend or somebody that invites you somewhere or says something to you that really is important about a love situation this week. Now, it might be something that you need to hear, something that it could be opinion of somebody about your relationships, why they're working the way they are, what's going on, what you should do. Maybe bring in some sort of clarity about a situation so that you can make a choice of where to go. Because some of you could be pondering, you know, am I ready to try something new? Am I ready to go somewhere new with somebody or a friend and take their advice? Or am I ready just to be, you know, still on my own? Because this card here can tell me that in love, you are very independent and it's hard for you to let down your guards and be flirty and, you know, and it's like, I have expectations, but I've also been here, done it before, and I don't want to go down the same path. Now in love, we'll look at Aries through Pisces, because I see that for many of you, there is standards, there is seriousness, there is growth, but there's also judgments and judging a situation based off of how much they value you. And that's becoming very important in your love relationships. I need to feel valued, but also I need to let people in so that if I don't need anything from anybody, you know, they're not gonna know what to do, you know. So when you get to Queen status, sometimes it is hard to let other people care and nurture for you. So I will look at Aries through Pisces and see, because, you know, sometimes it could be another person is just like, I can't crack the wall, I can't get in there, I can't, or I don't feel like I can meet your standards type of energy. And again, for the singles, there could be somebody that you're meeting through a person that's in your life that's very grounded and that works with you or is around you. Now, in life in general, I'm seeing Queen of Wands, right? So I am seeing important people show up around you. You have an earth and you have a fire sign. Now, it's going to be home-related situations too, maybe stepping up, getting things situated. You know, if there's anything that needs done, the Queen of Wands is going to get it done. She's a multitasker. Same thing with a Queen of Pentacles. So there could be some things around work, business, home that you got to get the pieces together. You got to get fired up and take care of some loose ends and close things up. But I am seeing somebody influential in your life, a feminine energy as well too, that is popping up here. And with the Ace of Swords, you're seeing that there's news coming. There's something I got to tell you. There's something important you have to see. And so you may have a difficult decision or you have options. And this is where trust could come in. Like, who do I believe? What do I go with? Maybe I have two opportunities coming in this week and I'm hearing good stuff, but I'm doubting because of the past, or maybe I'm revisiting because the retrograde can bring back stuff. Like I said, I'm revisiting. So it feels like career maybe is louder with the queens showing up here, and the opinions and decisions, and somebody even bringing some maybe good opportunity for you to speak up or to do something different, which could bring you down a whole different path. that you've been waiting for, because that's what the Two of Wands is. It's a new path. I got a contract in front of me, so read the contract, verify things, double check things, especially in the Mercury retrograde, right? Because sometimes you hear a lot of good stuff in a retrograde and we are not quite there yet, but this is usually we start to really feel it. You want to make sure that you're listening in and you just double rereading everything and before you sign anything, but it looks like somebody does want to bring you an opportunity, right? And let's see any advice for you this week. I see the Judgment card, so we are getting a choice this week. It looks like my Libras will be making an important choice when it comes to seeing clarity and truth about the direction in your life. Love looks like it's not on the forefront of your mind, to be honest with you. I see the Queen of Pentacles and she's like, I can give or take, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. You might say you want it, but Queen of Pentacles is like, yeah, I'll get around to it when I'm done with my chores, and I'll see if anybody's around. And if they're not, then you're questioning, why is nobody around? Because you had no time for it. You really could do either way, even though you want it, right? So this is where there's something maybe fearing you when it comes to really fully committing and giving yourself to a relationship that may be coming up. You may be just more focused on wanting to partner with other people and focusing on your career and your home life. But whatever decisions you make this week are really going to change the path moving forward with the Judgment card, because you are being asked to make some important decisions. You're being asked to look at your future with that Ten of Pentacles that was showing up right here. It's like, I don't need to be giving myself to situations where I don't feel supported and I don't feel like people are really putting in the effort. I put in the effort and then I don't get back, and at some point you do have to kind of weigh things out and be like, no, I don't expect everybody to give me stuff, but at the same time, it's got to feel right. It's got to feel balanced. So I do see a lot about you showing up this week too. All right, your presence obviously is of impact because you have the Queens showing up here. So it's showing me that your confidence showing up, people seeing you, people maybe wanting to talk to you, wanting to connect to you because you're really stepping out. So, and this kind of energy can bring even people that in the past they haven't followed through with something, and or the drama or the problems or the temptation to go back or to rethink something. But there's a part of you too that's like, maybe something, I have a choice here, maybe this is this could be different and this could change, especially if you step up with more authority and more leadership and control and don't let other people direct the path. This is asking you to also step up and lay down the laws of what it is you need, what it is you want, right? Because the Judgment card is, you got to be real with yourself, right? I got to be real with myself. I got to move forward, because this could be a pivot point for you where your life changes with that Judgment card, depending on what choices you make right now. Especially as we get to that full moon, you're going to see a lot of things come up. So you have fire and air showing up for you, even with Scorpio energy here. So let's take a look. Thinking about something, it looks like you're thinking about an important decision. All right, and the Two of Wands are at the bottom of the deck, so that can give me an energy. Remember, the love department is the Queen of Pentacles, so you're showing up as the Queen of Pentacles. If you're dealing with somebody that does not meet your standards, I want you to hear me. I just see it too much. If you have a huge belief system that the person that you want is not worthy of you for some reason or not, because they've hurt you, they just don't have, they're not living up to your standards, your values, but you still want this person, they're going to feel that energetically no matter what. And so there's always going to be some sort of block. And I believe it's your higher self saying, what am I doing? What am I doing here? All right. So are you bored? Are you playing safe? What are you doing? So that might show up in the Aries through Pisces portion. Aries, Hanged Man. All right, so right now I can see it's not really doing anything for you. All right, and I think you know it. A Hanged Man, it just stays put. Come on, change already. Do you guys have the same perspective? Do you share the same goals? Do you see things the same? You may be kind of revisiting that and thinking about, I'm always downplaying myself when I'm thinking about this, or whenever I'm talking to an Aries, I'm always just feeling stuck and feeling like they don't get it. They don't get me, right? So you may be questioning some things and kind of, you don't have to do anything with an Aries, but it's like, it's not going anywhere right now. It's just kind of hanging about, maybe even taking up space. Taurus, I see 6 of Wands, right? So it looks like you and Taurus kind of on the same page. I like this energy. It's all about the little wins here. Okay. I don't know what your situation is with your Taurus, but, you're pretty smart. You know exactly. You think about everything, and it feels like something is there. So it may be moving slow. Maybe you have some things you need to work on. Who knows? Being able to soften up and trust somebody. It could be just something like that. I'm seeing here, focus more on the little wins with your Taurus and let it go a little bit. Because you are winning something and you guys are building something together, even if it's just a good story for the future. You guys really see something in one another. Gemini, King of Swords, right? So Gemini is showing up as the King of Swords, maybe some hard truths coming out. You may have a conversation with a Gemini this week that talks about what their truth is. And that's going to be different for each and every one of you as well, too, because you have some high standards here. And, if we're going to have this talk, we need to talk about what's real. And you may be talking about what's real. Is this relationship real? Is this relationship really going to go anywhere? Because you are dealing with a Gemini here who does not jump into a relationship quickly and is going to listen and observe everything you say. And when they're right there, they think they're right? And the same thing goes with you. But you got some good energy here, so at least you can get an honest conversation out of them. Cancer, Ace of Pentacles. All right, so Cancer ready for a start with you. All right, they see the benefits, they see the positivity, they see the potential, right? That's always the aces. So you get an offer maybe from a Cancer. Now Leo, all playful and flirty this week too, up by the full moon. I'm going a couple days longer on this reading. And I'm seeing here that they really are attracted to you, and this could even be, a lot of these can be new too that are coming into your life, so stay open to that. But I am seeing some flirty messages, and I really do want you. I'm attracted to you with a Leo, or a new start with a Leo. Virgo, 3 of Wands, making future plans with a Virgo. So things are still kind of moving and grooving. They're just, doing their lively things. Sometimes we just gotta show up, and you have the 2 of Wands here, so it does look like you and a Virgo could be getting together, hanging out, making that taking that next step. Libra, 9 of Pentacles. So Libra, this is all about work for you too. I really do feel like there's a lot in this reading today. This week is going to be focused on your home, solitude work, things you work for, things you buy, things you do, focusing on, yourself, and maybe you and another Libra. Again, just doing your thing, right? You guys seem to be vibing. It's just you both are very independent. Now that's coming through for you again. So maybe for some of you, that is just a theme that keeps coming up that says you got to decide. I mean, honestly, decide, do I want this? Do I want something? Not only on my time or when I want things to show up, but if I really want to put the investment into a relationship, then I've got to decide if I've got room for it. And that's the truth, and so it seems to be a theme that's coming up for you. And also revisiting your standards, because some of you could have high standards that are so high that like most people can't reach them. And some of you could have, I don't want you to lower your standards at all. It's like, if you know damn well that somebody is not even meeting the basic needs, what are you doing? All right, but I do see possible success with you and another Libra. It's just that you guys are both in your own place, in your own head. Scorpio, 3 of Cups. Good times coming in with a Scorpio. Looks like they got some love for you. And regardless of what's going on, you guys show it in your weird ways, or they show it. But authentic. I see authenticity here. I see just trying to keep it light, having fun. Maybe right now things are about keeping it light with your Scorpio. And just enjoying company rather than trying to go too serious. Sometimes Scorpio needs you to lift them up, and so they don't stay down in the dark trenches. All right, Sagittarius. I see the King of Cups, right? I'm seeing some good energy with a Sagittarius. Could be a Capricorn too, maybe. But King of Cups, I got feelings for you, all right? You know, just give me some time. I'm slow to commit, but I got feelings, all right? Capricorn, 8 of Swords. So Capricorn may be afraid to express their feelings, or they're just feeling stuck at the moment, not sure what to do. You know, and I don't want to make a decision just yet. I want to make sure it's the right decision. So that's what I'm getting from a Capricorn. Aquarius, 7 of Swords, also kind of wearing a false mask here. So be careful with an Aquarius. You know, there's just always something being hidden, not fully being real with you. Now, that doesn't mean it's a negative thing. It just means that I feel like I can't be 100% myself, or I feel like I can't be honest yet. Right? Or just, and if it's deeper than that, or you know that there's some dishonesty, check it, because maybe you got to trust your intuition. Pisces, King of Pentacles. So Pisces is really into you. All right. They see you the way they see themselves. They see you as a perfect match in a way. But you guys have a lot in common. So there's going to be some, you know, qualities where you're bumping heads, and you both got a lot going on, and you both want control of a situation. And, you know, sometimes we're too much alike. It can also be a headache too. But it looks good. It looks like it could be good with you and a Pisces. I love you guys. All right, Scorpio, June 22nd to the 30th. Let's do this. All right, let's get an overall energy for the week. We're going to look at your love and life. And well, this just flew out. So I'm going to take this one, number 17. All right, growing up. All right, so I'm going to look at your love and life, and then Aries through Pisces as well too this week. Right, and it's up to the full moon in Capricorn. So wanting to grow and experience, and rejection of perpetual youth. Right. So what I feel from this card is that some of you definitely feeling obviously stagnant, right? And it's like wanting to expand, wanting to grow, wanting something new in your life. And this has been showing up a lot. I mean, it shows up repeatedly. It comes in cycles for every different zodiac sign, but it's like if you're in a situation and you're feeling like it's stagnant, it's not growing, but you still keep kind of hanging in it, hanging in there, and with hope, and it's going to change, and there's possibilities. Eventually, it can make you internally sick to your stomach at times. It can be physical. If you have physical aches, if you have you know, things happening and you don't know why they're happening, it's because you're not in alignment and you're not seeing any growth or transformation. You can only hold on or wait or hang on to a situation for so long, or drag something out, and in hopes that it will change, because it eats away at your soul. And this is where I'm feeling like this could be a very strong Saturn energy coming through, but you might feel it really heavily, and especially through the full moon. If something is really coming to light that feels like it's not growing or expanding, you're definitely going to maybe say something or do something or make an announcement that you could do something that is crazy and be like, I'm moving countries, you know. It's like you've got to grow. And if you're wanting to grow in a situation and you know it's not, I just feel like you guys all just went, I know what she's talking about, right? It's like, it's the unknown. It's like, I don't see no momentum. I don't see any change. I don't see anything. And you're going to keep trying to find, you know, every which creative way and tool you can to make something work. And it just seems like it gets nowhere. All right, so let's see what's going on, Scorpio. Let's see what the energy of the week is. Maybe something is changing. Maybe something that you're wanting to really grow, develop into something will finally get unstuck. Now, this is the pre-shadow of the retrograde, which means that a lot of things could be coming back. Old people, old questions, old problems, old, you name it, whatever. And this could be where you're revisiting things, and might also even see, I'm seeing like a spiral journey, like some things may come back around and you may realize how much you have grown out of a situation. All right, so something may get said, or somebody may show up, and somebody that you've been waiting for, And you might be like, I've actually traveled on from that. I've actually moved on from that. I just don't think that I'm in the same place that I can go. And how did my Libra friend put that hat back on? I just don't know if I can do that. But somebody might be circulating your energy. Other Nine of Swords, the very restless energy. Come on. Today, this feels like I'm bored. I'm gonna go out of my mind. I just can't figure out a solution to something, and something keeps perpetuating. And maybe you thought you've gotten past it, or you thought you've settled into it, or you found a way to cope with certain things that are going in your life. But even coping mechanisms don't last very long either. You're very creative. You will figure out a way to stay with something and make something work and figure out a meaning before you finally let go. Because one of your biggest challenges as the Death card is to let go and let something just be done, right? Six of Cups, there it is. There's the magic card this week, all right? Who's coming back in? Who's coming towards you? Who's around you? It doesn't even have to be a past person. So some of you, I still get a kick out of it when I have people come to the channel. I don't want my past person. Oh, Scorpio, well, then stop yelling at me about it. Why is it on your mind? Why do you think about that person right when I say that? You know, that's what it is. But it can be you're thinking about somebody from the past because you're feeling connected, you're feeling good. Maybe you want to check something out. Maybe you want to talk to somebody and see what they're up to. But I'm also seeing it could be you're attracted in a random person this week too, because this is a very magnetic card. It's like you're giving off a great energy. Someone is liking what they see. Somebody here wanted to give something to you. This could be a moment this week where something is deeper than you thought. It's a different chapter. It's like, maybe I didn't see this person this way. Maybe, you know, it is time to do something different. Now, going back to wanting to grow and experience, this is the same thing with the Six of Cups. It feels like this week you may have a moment where you have realized in a relationship, man, we have grown. Maybe something will come back around, and it's like we can gauge our experience off of what we've gone through. So we could be turning over a new leaf this week and looking at our partners, looking at our friends, looking at our families and saying, you know what? I forgive you. This could be Scorpio going, I forgive you. All right. Yeah, you jackass back then, but you know what? You're okay now. Right. So you may end up having some sort of really major reconciliation with somebody, a friend or somebody that you just thought you'd just leave in the past. Right. See you later. Now, this can be also deepening your conversations this week. You may notice that connections or people trying to connect with you, people trying to talk to you more, they may be seeing you differently too. And somebody could be attracted or feeling feelings for you more than friendship, you know. That is a possibility with that energy. But this is the energy you're giving off too. So let's see with love. And I'm seeing the Devil card. All right, Scorpio, it's happening. You know, it's like choose your thoughts and choose your wants and needs and your temptations wisely this week. You know, in love, this can bring up triggers. All right. This can bring up something hits you a little deeper than you thought it would. Right. So there could be something resurfacing. This does talk about, you know, negative feelings at times, or our shadow side, and somebody really triggering us. So if it is somebody that you really care about, I do see that this could be coming back around. All right. So maybe you've realized in love something that was really deep, that was really hurting you. Maybe you're realizing the real problem underneath the surface. What's really the argument about? Why do you keep getting triggered by somebody? Why are you attached to somebody? Why is somebody, a story, so super attached? You know, you just won't let go of it. So this week you could be realizing, especially with that full moon, what's really going on beneath the surface. Why are you guys arguing? What's really going on? Are we trying to find all kinds of other things to argue about, but we really need to talk something out? So you can see there's forgiveness here. There is some sort of forgiveness. All right. But I'm also saying you got to choose your words though, and the way you react in love situations, because sometimes it is about constantly bringing up the past, and or bringing up something that you know, maybe you're trying to brush past something, and you keep thinking that you're going to be okay, but it looks like it's still coming up to haunt you. Something somebody else is doing is just not sitting well with you, and it could create an argument between the two of you. Now, and that still doesn't wash away the fact that I've said, though, that this could be also where something does come up and you realize how much we've grown, and it really, maybe we are resolving it. We're solving this real, we're getting to the real. Why do we keep arguing about this? All right. And then we're going to get to the real reason. So the real reason why this love or this situation is just constantly going to this place that feels, and there's also a temptation here. Like, you can't stop yourself from constantly bringing something up or talking about something or connecting with something. It's an obsession, obviously, because you're not getting to what the real problem is, but you could be getting there this week. Life, 9 of Cups. All right. So you got to continue to have faith when it comes to life. All right. This could be a milestone for you. Life looks good. All right. Maybe there's promotions. Maybe there's being seen. Maybe there's being taken care of. Something you're wishing for, you're being granted. I mean, God's got your back here, right? You've got some really good energy. And this could also be why the devil's coming up too, because it's like something that you really need to face or deal with is really coming up. And it's going to, you know, bring forth a deeper level of a relationship if this is somebody that is really important to you, really meant to be in your life, right? You're facing some deeper issue that will bring you guys closer together. The 9 of Cups, what is it? What are you working on this week? It seems like you're in a position to really achieve a goal that you've been trying to achieve. You're in a position, and this could be the start. It doesn't have to happen just this week, but this could be, you know, over the next season. Life seems to be trying to follow through for you. Life seems to be wanting to give you satisfaction, guaranteed, you know, but nothing's guaranteed. But obviously this card says, you know, there is something, you know, getting ready to, maybe a blessing getting ready to come into your life that you've been waiting on, that will feel really good to you this week. So come back and let me know what that is. Now, your advice is the 7 of Pentacles. All right. So this is a review card. So this could be where you are reevaluating your life, your career, your path, your future, you know, and this is why maybe this argument might be coming up for you in love, because where is this going? Is this attachment? Is this argument? Is this person? Is this situation really going to be there in the long haul? I mean, do we really need to address something? Or if this old belief keeps returning, this could be what's limiting you from actually growing in the relationship. So we really are conquering a big belief system here if this shows up in your love situations. Now we'll look at Aries through Pisces, and that's going to tell me too if this is somebody from your past that is coming back around, that you just know it's a waste of time. Like, why am I doing this? You know, but I can't tell you that. I mean, the cards might just indicate it. But here it's like, you know, you are going to really need to look at, honestly, what's holding you back and where it is, because there's a green light coming in and there's a turn coming up and something you've been waiting for. It's time to move on to the next chapter. It's time to build upon what we've had. It's no longer being stagnant. And so this goes back to, if I don't see change, if I don't see growth in my experiences, you're going to go find a tree. I don't know. And I'm not going to go there, but let's just see. You can't do it. You need change. You need growth, right? So this week is going to be really pushing you out of your comfort zone to really make some decisions that will help you grow and expand because you're needing it. If something is holding you back, an addiction, an attachment, a relationship, or love, it's going to be really hard for you to maintain your composure. I'll put it that way. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. Now you're showing up here's the cards that I'm going to be reflecting on. You're showing up as the Six of Cups, so I can see, you know, love's really important to you and something you're feeling about somebody and you're wanting reciprocation. But I'm also seeing the Devil card when it comes to love. So somebody really triggering you, really pissing you off, and or there's some healing that needs to happen here with something, a root issue that's coming up. So let's take a look at Aries through Pisces. Aries, I'm seeing karma. You know, you guys both feel like there's something fated here. You guys constantly being pulled to each other, and it feels like there's a purpose here. So yeah, we have some karma with you and Aries. We got to figure out what this is. And it looks like this week I am seeing possibly a situation where we can get to the root of the problem. Taurus, Ace of Pentacles, right? So Taurus here, looks like they worry about a lot of things, and maybe you worry about a lot of things, but it looks mutual. It looks like, hey, you know, this is a promise to a new start. So let's start fresh. Let's plant some new seeds. Let's, you know, let's work together here. So you may get an offer from a Taurus. Gemini, also King of Pentacles. Gemini's like, you know what, I get stuck in my ways at times, but I still am interested here. And this is, you know, you got a King of Pentacles. You can't change a person like this. They do things their way, and that's how it's going, and they do things their pace. But I also can see there could be some selfishness here too with you and Gemini. And maybe sometimes you feel like your needs aren't important, or you feel like they put themselves first, right? Or they can be slow to react, or it can be lazy with the relationship sometimes. Remember, I'm looking at the Devil here, but you still love them. So, and they're showing up as the King of Pentacles. So there are some things that we learn to accept. You can't change an old dog, but at the same time, we can tweak and reevaluate. So there may be something coming up with a Gemini that you guys have to address. Cancer, Two of Cups. Your relationship is continuing to grow. You both might be overly emotional. You both are attached to each other, super emotional, maybe misunderstandings at times, but I see soulmate energy here. It's just you guys can really trigger each other if one or both of you are highly emotional or intense. Leo, you know, we're seeing things coming together. There could be a Leo orbiting around you. Very, you know, maybe you're figuring out the purpose or the meaning of this relationship. Some of you could be putting the past in the past and deciding to start again. This can be like, let's go to a new chapter. Let's try something new. But some of you may be realizing that something has completed itself, and you know, it's like, we're good. We need to let something go and move on. You know, you just see the lion here. It's like, we've done what we needed to do for this connection. We meant something to each other. There was a purpose, and now we need to decide where we're going from here. So a closure that seems successful. Virgo, Page of Cups. So Virgo loving on you. Virgo may be opening up this week and deciding to express their genuine feelings. And you see the Devil card. It might be difficult for them. It might be hard for them to be vulnerable, but maybe you do trigger them and they take things a little bit more personal than you realize. Libra, Two of Pentacles. So moving and grooving, still kind of seeing where things are at with a Libra. And maybe, you know, things are up in the air right now, but it's just kind of coast with it, see where it goes. I'm seeing, don't do anything drastic. It's just right now it's inconsistent. There's not enough to put too much into it. It's more like, let's give it a few more days before we make a decision here. There's still something questioning, something that could be, something could come of this. Sagittarius, Seven of Wands. So be prepared for an argument, or be prepared for, you know, to confront some sort of challenge with a Sagittarius. But it looks like this has to happen in order for you guys to move forward, because some walls need to come down, right? We need to get to the truth. Capricorn, the Lovers card, right? So you see this addiction here with that Devil card and the Lovers card with a Capricorn. So there could be some obsession, unhealthy triggers that happen between the two of you. But hey, you guys met for a reason. So you guys are here to help each other learn and grow. So enjoy the ride. Aquarius, Ten of Wands. Things kind of heavy within Aquarius, the Devil card. So if there's something really going on between you and Aquarius, it could come up this week. It just feels like things are going to get too heavy before somebody finally gives in and says something. Pisces, I see the Sun card. So you and Pisces really in a good place, falling in love and or just really seeing clear the truth about you in Pisces. And there's a breakthrough energy with that. It feels like, you know, there's love, there's care, and we want the best for each other. So however you look at it. I love you guys. Sagittarius, June 22nd through the 30th. Let's take a look at the week, love, life, and also Aries through Pisces. All right. The oracle for the week is find the lesson. Oh, of course. Discover the purpose in a situation. Trust that you are learning from the situation. So there could be some people around you this week that you may want to be curious about. Also, and trying to figure out what's really going on here, because there could be something deeper going on, or something that you're missing, something that obviously needing to see what the purpose of a situation is, or why am I around these people, or why is this person in my life. And there obviously is some reason. So there could be somebody that is curious this week, and then maybe they are meant to be in your life. So if there's a situation and you're like, why am I being called here? Why do I have to do this? Why do I keep being pulled in this direction? Right, there seems to be a really big purpose. So we're going to pull out some tarot and see what this. I also got you are rare and free. There are not many like you. So maybe somebody really does, you know, there is a reason why somebody keeps showing up. Why? Maybe your lesson is to trust, you know, and maybe you're observant. I'm just getting this look like, what are they looking at? What do they want? Like you might be reading or misreading a room, and people are very genuinely curious about you, and you're being invited somewhere or doing something for a reason. Maybe somebody wants to see what run into you. All right. Let's see. The Chariot card. So where are you going? All right, this week it looks like going somewhere, getting past something, figuring out an obstacle. There's a resolution. You know, you'll handle it. Something will get handled. You know, you may have been going through some wilderness, been trying to figure out, you know, the path forward, and your perseverance, persistence, and attention to detail seems to be helping you push past any obstacle this week. If you are having any obstacles or you have to go somewhere, they will be small. They'll be like, it looks like you'll pretty much be cruising through and going places, and maybe finding yourself somewhere in a random place, and not knowing why you're there. So this is kind of like a mystery energy that's coming through for you. Your energy, the Nine of Cups. All right, so overall looking good, feeling good, relationships feeling good, feeling satisfied and trustful and happy with generally where things are at in your life. So looks like you're giving off a good vibe, and maybe this is why you might be at the right place, the right time. And you're learning maybe to trust your instincts a lot more, or learning to be more curious and question things where you may have written things off before in the past. But attitude of gratitude. So a blessing this week could be coming in. You're attracting in somebody who desires, definitely likes what they see. So let's see love. Seven of Wands. Well, we got some things that need to be said. There could be somebody that's got their armor on. Somebody, you know, is afraid of intimacy, or somebody here feels very defensive and very guarded when it comes to opening up or speaking up. And this week they could be speaking up. This card does say, you know, we got some challenges we've got to confront, but it's nothing we can't get through. So you may be needing somebody to open up and assert themselves a little bit more this week. You might be realizing that this is where somebody, if you've been waiting for somebody to pursue you, this could be the week for it. There could be somebody, even I'm getting that admire in the background here, that there's somebody here that may be trying to pursue you. and they're working on it. They're working on confronting you, that you could be wondering why somebody's so guarded. But also this could be you. So when I go through Aries through Pisces, the Seven of Wands can say, often you're in this position to feel like you have to defend yourself, right? You're always being the one to initiate. You are always trying to resolve things. And sometimes you do have to step up. So this week you could be stepping up, and this could be the lesson you're learning here, where it's like, I have boundaries, all right? You got to show up too. So we could be confronting some boundary issues this week. And also, this is a week to deepen intimacy through this energy as well. It's like we speak our minds, we say something, we have a problem that might come up, but this problem with the Chariot card is one that both seem to really need to to talk about, to connect with, and to get over, to figure out, why do we keep having these blocks? Now, life, I see Page of Cups. There could be a new adventure coming in when it comes with life. You seem to go at it with a very innocent, love and energy, just wanting to be playful, wanting something new, wanting things to be easier like it was when we were kids, and you're just looking for adventure, just trying to see the bright side of everything. You have a beautiful energy coming through this week. So hopefully some of you are really feeling this. It seems like you're giving off a vibe like, I'm good. I'm really good. I just, I need people to quit being such, turd balls, and always trying to block me or push me away or taking me the wrong way. But I just want to show some loving, right? So you got a great opportunity here. You could be meeting somebody in life in general, like through the people that you align with, through the people you connect with. And people understanding you, or people loving to be around your energy. And this is where I am picking up on a new person maybe entering your life that's observing you right now. But you could be dealing with other situations, right? Or maybe this is where you're learning the lesson. I've got people that I'm constantly have to put boundaries up with. I'm constantly having to direct the situation, be the one to handle the biz, being the chief here. And this here is like, somebody here sees that and admires that about you too. They love the way you work, but maybe through something that you're confronting this week, you're getting somewhere because other people or somebody else might be seeing the way you handle your business, and they're very attracted to that. We are in RX. I do want to bring that up too. So there could be conversations that are coming up in your love life where that's why the Seven of Wands is showing up here. So if somebody or a situation you're in, doesn't matter if it's a past, present, or new person, partnership, or complicated, this in love is going to be where you feel like you're doing more work. You're the one always trying to knock down somebody else's walls, have people open up, honesty. You're wanting to tackle problems, and the people that you are connected with could be resistant, right? Or it's the other way around. But your energy is the Nine of Cups, and the Page of Cups is showing up in your life position, which tells me that I don't think that you're the one that's not willing to be vulnerable, and you want this to expand. What's your advice? The Two of Wands. All right, obviously there's decisions when it comes to this, and there's a conversation, and we need to really define before we move forward. Maybe just talk about what the plan is. We don't have to have everything in alignment, but we definitely need to know which direction we're going in. So this is your partnership zone, right? It's like, who's on the same page as me? I want some love, and so this is where you start. Be prepared to be very clear about what you want and love this week up into the full moon, because you're being real with yourself, and people don't have to change. But if they are definitely feeling the love, you have the Nine of Cups, which says, maybe I like this, that you're being more assertive and you are being demanding about what you want. And so people may really step up and show up for you. The ones that don't, it could be a clear sign that they don't have your best interest at heart. So Aries, let's take a look, right? Because I'm going to look at these two cards here now for the love department as I'm going through the Aries through Pisces. So you got a 9 of Cups. I want to make you happy, Aries. What's going on? Come on, just give me some goods, And it looks like your relationship is continuing to grow, but I am seeing the 7 of Wands. So maybe it was a little uncomfortable. Aries might come across a little bit sharper times, right? Maybe you both have a lot of fire, and sometimes it's about mutual understanding. We got to give each other the torch every now and then. But you guys are feeling very drawn to each other, and your relationship is continuing to grow. So there could be a conversation here that we're having that maybe helps melt down some of the walls a little bit. You could be resolving any kind of conflict you've recently had too with an Aries. Taurus, all right? Where are we going, Taurus? Right? You had that 2 of Wands over here. So Taurus is like, all right, you got me going. There's something's going on. You got my attention. You got Taurus's attention. But getting them to move is like trying to, you got to pull out that red flag to get them to come charging. But, maybe there is, if you push too hard with a Taurus, they can get very stubborn. But it feels like you have the light to be able to make this work. And, it's just about patience with one another and letting things, I don't know, I would say at this point, let things happen the way they're meant to happen with you and a Taurus, because there is a lot of potential here. Gemini, Page of Wands, all right? So Gemini may be impulsive, childish at times, or maybe just demanding, or they want their attention when they want their attention, and sometimes they can be overreactive. And so you and Gemini could really trigger each other, but it feels like it's worth, playing around with and seeing where it goes. I mean, you do have a Page energy here, so remember that. You are playing with fire here, and you are playing sometimes, games with each other, even if they're just early attraction games, or like, you guys just like teasing each other. It's nothing. If it's crazy, immature, irrational, and impulsive behavior, this is where you got to learn a lesson in the situation and maybe create some boundaries. But if it's just playful teasing, which it looks like in this energy, I see that coming through with you and Gemini. It's just, let's just, maybe they're teasing you. You might even notice a new Gemini teasing you just to get under your skin to see how far they can push you. Cancer, 4 of Swords, right? So Cancer gets overwhelmed and tries to avoid certain situations, especially when things get too heated. You just got to give them a little bit of space when things get too heated. Maybe sometimes you come across very assertive, very powerful, very demanding. You know exactly what you want. And Cancer sometimes needs to go climb in their shell a little bit. But that tells me they'll be back out. Maybe this will resolve a deeper issue you guys are having. Leo, 5 of Wands. You and Leo at each other's throat, right? You and Leo trying to be in charge. You and Leo very competitive of each other. All right. Where there's a will, there's a way with this one, but you got to understand you both have a lot of fire, and there could be a lot of tension and arguments and drama between the two of you. But maybe, a little bit of boundaries, we can make this work. Virgo, 9 of Swords. Virgo's stressing to the max about this situation. I don't know if they're overwhelmed or just feel like they can't say the right thing, or no matter what they say or do, they always feel regret. They always say the wrong thing, or there's always stress or worry or anxiety between the two of you. And that could be one of the, we need to confront this, but we also need to figure out what this is about, because it's going to push them to leave. It's going to push them away because they don't know how to resolve it. Libra, the Death card. So things may be ending with the Libra. It's time to move on. Sometimes things just run its course. And, if you're the one that's constantly trying to pursue it, or, get it to work, get it to happen, I mean, it just seems like nothing's changing. You'll continue to be doing that. Scorpio, that's Scorpio, right? 4, yeah, 8. Scorpio needs a little bit more time to figure out what the hell they want, all right? They're distant and they're withdrawn to figure themselves out and figure the path out, all right? It doesn't mean that they won't be back out of hiding, but right now they're definitely in a place of, I can't make a decision just yet because I really don't even know what the hell I'm doing. So timing issue with the Scorpio. Sagittarius, same thing. The Hanged Man, maybe with another Sagittarius, they're just kind of feeling stuck and they don't know. They're just letting things play out. So there's no movement. So you kind of feeling stagnant here, but that's going to be something you have to confront. You know, some people don't have to change if they don't want to. They just don't. It's something they have to want to do. And if nothing's changing, it seems like nothing's changing with you and a Sagittarius. You're still hanging on, hoping. Capricorn, 4 of Pentacles. Now, there is room for growth here with a Capricorn, but they are slow to open up. So they're just cautious, right? You got the 7 of Wands and you got the 4 of Pentacles. It's like we can build something here, but this is where it comes down to whether or not you can handle the pace of this. You know, it's like, all right, well, we're going somewhere and it feels safe, or it feels like we're connected, but is it everything I need? Is it what I want? Because this could go on for a while. Aquarius, the Emperor card. Aquarius likes to be in control of the situation. They want to be the one to initiate. So if you're constantly initiating, they may be pulling back or wanting to make the move when they're ready, or they have a plan, or they're wanting to initiate. But they tend to control their feelings, you know, until they know exactly what they want, and then they'll commit. Pisces, the Temperance card. So just let things happen naturally with a Pisces. I wouldn't force anything right now. It seems like it's moving, but it's just, you guys are just connecting, and maybe in time, like, things will naturally grow where they're supposed to be. But right now, the pace is just kind of chill. Like, let's just be the way we are. I love you guys. Capricorn, June 22nd through the 30th. Let's get an overall energy for the week, and I'll look at love and life and Aries through Pisces. All right, clock time, time pressure and a rush. So this week you could be against the clock, right? Feels like, or you're worrying about the clock, you're worrying about time, putting a lot of pressure on yourself. What are you in a rush for, right? Some of you like, I'm in a rush because I'm running out of time. Are you? You know, because that's where we get stuck in those mindsets, in those thoughts, and we start to panic and we start to choose things that we really don't want in our life, or we start to make decisions and settle, right? You know, and then there could be, maybe you've been procrastinating. You know, have you been procrastinating? You know, is the pressure on because you know you need to do something, and you've been saying, I'll get to it Monday. So there's going to be different avenues this week. You know, the clock's ticking in some ways. You know, you really do have some pressure on you. But, you know, in a rush, right? You don't want to be in a rush. You don't want to make decisions in a rush. You want to watch out for that, because we have Mercury retrograde starting, and we're in the pre-shadow, which means that things are not going to always work out the way you want them to if you're in a rush. And you may miss something that is really meant for you, or get upset about something because it doesn't turn out to the highest quality that you want it to. So be mindful of the things that you need to make time for this week, and get those things done. Put your focus on that and not worry about the things that you have no control over. But if some of you are worried about the time, the pressure, in a rush, just in general, like you just got to have things happening so quickly. Let's do it now. Let's get it done. Let's go. That's also going to take the joy away from the journey. But also, this could be what causes blocks when it comes to people or situations when they're just not ready. You know, it's not time to take it out of the oven, and we're trying to, you know, do that. We're going to push things away that are just not meant for us at this time, you know, and you may get caught up in your head thinking something's wrong with me. Why is it wrong with me? You know, and so it makes you want to pursue something even harder because something's not ready. And then you end up questioning yourself and questioning everything. And so watch out for that spiral. That's what I'm seeing here for the energy of, for the oracle of the week. So let's take a look at tarot. All right, we have the King of Wands, right? So here we go. You know, the King of Wands could be a person that's showing up in your life this week for some reason or another, right? You know, this always brings in future vision. What are we doing? What's going on? But this is also that energy too. The King of Wands is on a mission. You know, I want to make things happen. I got this fire. I got these goals. I want to do things, and this is what my vision is. And so I'm not going to get derailed by shit that's not adding any quality to mine or anybody else's life. But the King of Wands too, if they procrastinate, could end up, you know, taking on too much and burning the candle at both ends, right? So I do see you have a beautiful energy with this, right? Or person with beautiful energy coming in that helps expand, helps move, helps, you know, with the future visions you have. So somebody may be able to help you figure out what your next step is in your goals, right? Or you have a plan, but don't try to skip any steps to get there, right? Or procrastinate on any steps to get there. I have the Eight of Swords. All right, so there's the anxiety, the worry, I feel stuck, I feel like I got to do something. That's panic. That's anxiety. You know, if I'm not doing something, if I'm not productive, if I'm not, you know, I'm not getting anywhere. I don't feel good. I don't feel proud. I feel stuck. I feel stagnant. I need something to change or something to happen in order to feel validated, to feel, you know, safe. So it can be a lot of panic that comes up, but also it can be a paralysis because I've waited so long, or I've been holding myself back for so long, and now I have to make the move. You know, I have to make a decision. I'm not stuck. You're not stuck. It looks like, you know, you could be feeling like I'm running out of time, or I wasted time, or I didn't do something when I should have done something. And now now I don't know what to do. So I kind of feel stuck. And there's a way out of this. This is a mental energy. You know, this is where you're putting way too much pressure on yourself right now. Tackle one thing at a time. In love, I'm seeing the Emperor card. You're dealing with people who hold back, who don't jump into commitments, who don't want to feel pressure, who are not in a rush. But yet they're an emperor, and there's somebody that when they make a decision, they will stick it through. They will initiate. So there's two things that can happen in the love department. One, it definitely looks like a fire sign or somebody with fire qualities, or the chief, you know, showing up this week. The problem you might be having is everything that I already just said. Whether one of you is rushing something, or one of you is nervous or feels unsafe because you can't control, because this could also be you can't control a situation. So when you can't control a situation, you become very maybe controlling, or very anxious, very nervous, like you got to fix something, like you got to do something, and you really don't. Now somebody else in your life might be saying, stop trying to, let me have control, let me do something, I will move, I will commit when I'm ready. So you could be feeling pressure against time, like for some reason, what is that is making you feel like you're running out of time? Because that issue could be causing resistance if you're bumping heads with somebody in love. You know, you want to control a situation to feel safe, and that is the one thing that could possibly make it feel more unsafe. So we'll look at Aries through Pisces and see what's going on. Because sometimes these are valid. Like, you know, you are running out of time. Are you hanging on to somebody that it has got control issues, and they just won't make a move? And no matter what you say or do, you can't get this person to make a move. And it's like, maybe you are feeling like you're running out of time. So you're going to have to question that in a lot of different ways. It's, you know, one size isn't going to fit all. Maybe some of you have given something enough time, but you've gotten so used to staying in a situation that you feel like you're stuck. Now I've invested so much time, you know, if I leave now, all that's going to be wasted. So a lot to think about. Whether or not, you know, you should move or not, or initiate or continue with plans. Life in general, Knight of Pentacles, right? So life looks good. You know, you're making it work. You're being, you know, shown here this week, the next week, to keep hustling, keep grinding, keep doing your thing. You know, keep expanding, show up every day. Sometimes good days, some days bad days, some days, you know, it's harder than others, and it takes work. And you're just being shown here that what you're doing, though, is going to have a payout. Might be later, but you're doing the work. You're in it. I see, you know, even with the Emperor and the Knight of Pentacles, that combination there says you're on top of your game. You know, you just got to get through the days. You know, sometimes routine gets dull, and sometimes you do feel stuck or overwhelmed, and maybe you want to rush things because you're sick of things taking forever. You know, that's also against time. Like, some of you feel like, you know, you've been on this road long enough and you're waiting for change, and you have a lot of anxiety. But this is also saying you can't rush some things. Something you're working towards obviously takes a little bit longer, but it will bring you success. Just keep showing up. Your advice, I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles. Open up for new opportunities. This could be a really good time too for a collaboration. I am seeing people show up for you. I'm seeing a position show up for you, a new job show up for you. And you got to plant the seeds, right? Plant the seeds and just tend to them one day at a time. But you are working towards something that is going to bring you a huge payout, right? And stability. But it does take slow and steady, not rushing, but also not procrastinating. So it's going to be a fine line between that. I am seeing here for some of you, there could be a new opportunity with love coming into your life too. So even Aries through Pisces might even show a new person potential. So follow along. I will say who it looks like. But Ace of Pentacles talks about an opportunity coming in, and you see an Emperor. And you also see the King of Wands, which is the fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag. This could be your next potential relationship. And maybe you think you're running out of time. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you do need to unstuck yourself from a situation, because there could be a doorway opening up for you. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. So with Aries through Pisces, here's what I'm going to reference. You have your love life, the Emperor card. You're ready to get it started. You're ready for things to stabilize. If you're in a partnership, you want your person to be more open, less guarded. You know, stop trying to control the situation, stop stressing you out. But also I am seeing that in love, you have control issues, and you don't feel very safe. In the situation that maybe you're in, you need somebody to fully commit, and this somebody could be, you know, slow to commit, and they want to be the one to initiate, which can stress you out. So Aries, I have 7 of Pentacles. So you have a temporary pause with an Aries. Aries seems, like I said, fire seems to really be showing up for you. It looks like there's a lot of potential with fire. You might be worried about whether or not they're going to choose you, what's taken them so long. Maybe this is a good time for both of you to reevaluate if this is something you both really want, or if you really do see it going anywhere. But there is potential, and you guys could be making plans here. I mean, things still look like they're moving. Whether or not you're happy or you just need to trust might be the situation here. I just need to trust that it's going to work out, especially if things do seem like they show up or there is an investment there. Taurus, 4 of Pentacles. Same thing, control with a Taurus, right? You can't control the situation. So how can we let go a little bit? You're building a foundation. You have a Taurus that is very serious about their foundation. Tauruses tend to, I need stability, I need safety, I need grounding. I don't want my peace shaken up, but I'm building. And you build slowly with a Taurus. But you may be not feeling safe just yet, or feeling like you want things to hurry up because it's uncomfortable. That could put a stall or a Taurus could pull back. Gemini, 4 swords. I'm seeing Gemini here trying to recoup, maybe sometimes trying to avoid a difficult conversation, you know, until they're ready to. They might not know what to say. So maybe they are avoiding it. Maybe they are trying to shove it under the rug for a minute, or they are going quiet. Right now, it seems like that's the only way they know how to clear their mind until they know what to say or do. So there could be some space, and that could be where you're stressing out, because it just seems like you're kept in silence and you're feeling rejected. Cancer, the Chariot card. So Cancer coming in here to save the day, right? Or just coming in to say, let's go. Let's figure this out. I really feel a strong pull towards you, and I think this could go somewhere. It's not going to have the best days every day, but you guys will make it through. Leo feeling pulled to walk away. It feels like, I just got something else to do. It's not easy. Doesn't mean they don't have feelings, but they're feeling incomplete in some ways, and they need to figure that out, because every time they come back around, they're just not fully there, fully invested, and but they have feelings, but it's just something keeps getting them to drift away. So they may need to go on their own for a little bit, and that could be why you're stressing out, because you can't control it right now. It doesn't mean they're gone for good. Virgo, Page of Swords. So communication coming in with a Virgo. Remember, watch out for delays. We're in retrograde, so oftentimes there can be delays. There can be misunderstandings. Be careful of that. Say I'm seeing that with a Virgo. We could say something and misunderstand or stress over something. You got clarity, truth, and conversation coming in with a Virgo. Libra, 7 of Cups. You got to make a decision here with a Libra too. They kind of keep you up in the air. You feel something, but just never really turns into anything, or hasn't just yet. So there is possibilities here. So I don't know where you're at in the relationship with a Libra, but the 8 of Swords on the Emperor is saying, you want to initiate, you want change, you want something to happen, but you feel like there's always this energy of uncertainty. And so you're stressing out because you want to make the decision, but it's their decision to make, and you can't force it. So you're kind of stuck up in the air here, with knowing that there's feelings, but there's just a strong pull to, it's just not enough, and it never goes anywhere. Scorpio, 5 of Cups. Right? Scorpio is still kind of mulling over some shit that didn't turn out the way they expected. They're not happy with how things turned out, maybe between the two of you. So maybe they're just not ready. They're not ready to talk. They're not ready to connect. When a Scorpio is moping like that, it's like you're not gonna get what you want from them. They got to figure out, process their emotions, get over their shit, and then come back around. Sagittarius, I see all about you. All right. They see something good. They see stability. All right. They see worth. They see value. They also might see you as very independent and very stubborn at times too, but it's not going to stop them. Capricorn, also the same way. I get the Strength card. Capricorn, you're going to need some raw strength. You're going to need some strength when it comes to those emotions, and impatience, and staying calm and understanding another person's perspective or time, or finding something else to do when somebody else, if you just feel uncertain, because you've got to be comfortable and certain in your own life, regardless of what somebody else is doing. And it's not easy. I get it. It's in a perfect world, but at the same time, you're being asked to regulate your emotions, have self-control, especially when it comes to your situation, because sometimes coming on too strong is going to push them away. And sometimes not being vulnerable enough and not saying exactly how you feel could also hurt the situation. So you're going to have to figure out where you stand in that and how to approach a situation. There is a way, and you have a strong bond with another Capricorn, but there could be a lot of ego getting in the way. Aquarius, Page of Cups, right? So Aquarius loving on you. Looks like there could even be a new Aquarius coming into your life here. This could be a new person. And same thing with a Cancer, I feel like. There could be a Cancer that's on their way into your life as a new partner. So Aquarius has feelings for you, crushing on you. And Pisces, 6 of Wands. So whatever challenges you're having with a Pisces, focus on the little wins, because it looks like you guys are pulled towards each other and you're winning some sort of challenge that you are up against. I love you guys. All right, Aquarius, June 22nd through the 30th. Let's get an oracle for the week, and then I'll look at your energy, love and life, and then Aries through Pisces. Such a curious dream, returning to reality, coming home and grounding in. I love this card. I love the pink, right? And just maybe some of you, something's finally landing. Something you're finally realizing where maybe you kind of took off for a while and fell into a situation or fell into a dream, a manifestation. You know, you really kind of, somebody may have taken you out there, or maybe some of you went out there for a while. You know what I mean? It's okay. A lot of us have done that, found ourselves like up there with the aliens. And but I'm getting this energy. It's time to ground in, return home. So maybe some of you are coming off of a high, you know, like it felt really good, everything was going great, everything's good, but now it's like, all right, where's things going now? I want more. I want something good here, you know, I want things to be real. And sometimes this can show up as the fantasy or the honeymoon period finally ending, and you're really looking at what you got. So this could be that week. Some of you might be sitting back, you know, going, okay, this is not what I thought it was. Where the hell was I, you know, and seeing the truth about something. And it doesn't mean it's going to be bad, but some of you might have put something on a pedestal and then now realizing that somebody really took you. And, you know, for what it's worth, it's fun at times, but now it's like you're really realizing, oh, you know, like it wasn't what I really thought. So, and it's okay, you know, and some of you too, maybe the dust is settling a little bit in your life. Like you've had some good things going on, or you just met somebody, or you keep dreaming about somebody. But this week, things might start to get real. You know, you might actually be, you know, going, all right, this person seems to be sticking around, or this person's coming around, they're coming around more often, or I'm, you know, really starting to come to terms with what I really need now. Like this is all fun and dandy, and these flirty calls are fun and dandy, but now I'm wanting something real. I'm wanting something more. So if you're in situationships, or if you're, you know, still flirting with the fantasy of somebody at a distance, or somebody that you've been wanting for years, like this week could hit in a way differently, where you're just like, you know, the fantasy world is an escape, and it feels great and it feels harmless. But then there's moments when we realize that our fantasy world it's numbing us, and it's keeping us from our own reality. And this is where it looks like some of you are shaking your head and going, wait a minute, I got to get back to what's really important. Yeah, these things are fun. Escaping is fun. Doing this is fun, but it's not really getting me anywhere. And so maybe you're putting your thoughts more to what can I really create, getting out of my head, and actually I have all these great ideas. So how can I really make them happen now? So a lot of good energy. Maybe it's time to stop daydreaming about what it is you want to do and make it happen as well. Maybe some of you coming off a vacation and you're having to go back to work, or your kids are home and now reality's hit in. Can't sit around all day, you know, acting like we're doing stuff as, no, I'm kidding, acting like you're being a mom, and then the kids come home from school, an hour before, you clean up everything, you do what you gotta do, and be like, I've been struggling all day, right? I'm kidding. The Temperance card. So right now this feels like a natural energy. It feels like you're reading this week could be just kind of whatever you want to make of it this week. You know what I mean? It's like just doing my thing, just following where life takes me right now, right? Because it does seem like a lot of you spend a lot of time in your head and just kind of creating and thinking and wanting something, but it feels like a very content energy. It doesn't feel like you're like there's a whammy or anything like that. It just feels like you know what, where's my life? Where have I been too lax in some areas of my life? Or where do I finally have to quit being so chill about something and start moving in a direction and making something happen? So the temperance card is this week is about maintaining some sort of balance, you know. So if you're finding yourself drifting too much this week and not getting anything done, you know, this might be where you got to pay attention to some of those things that need your attention. Four Swords. Rest, recoup, relaxing, meditating, dreaming, hanging out in the silence, quiet. Some of you avoiding something you need to confront. You know, some of you maybe really do need a vacation, or you've been on vacation, like I said, and it's time to buckle down. So I'm going to say for some of you, it feels like you've been on a vacation maybe for a little bit too long. And it's time to quit imagining it. It's like I go to bed just so I can dream about my life. I go to bed so I can text, you know, and talk to the person that I'm in this fantasy with. But now I really got to come back to reality and figure out what's next in my life, because, you know, got to get shit going again. But it does feel like some of you may be checking out a little bit here. Am I picking up on that? Like, you know, I'd rather be in bed so I can ignore the world. In love, the Three of Wands. So some of you just waiting for the one to show up, you know, come on already. If I sleep long enough, maybe they'll show up, or maybe I need to go somewhere, or you're constantly thinking it's out there, you know, maybe I've got to go, you know, or you're manifesting it in. Maybe some of you are very strong manifestors and you're just meditating, believing, but we got to go places. If you're single, you know, staying home and resting, and or, you know, or you're dreaming about going somewhere or traveling to see somebody or vacation. And this is what I'm getting, is a lot of you are manifesting a lot of great things and really fantasizing about a lot of great things, but you're not, you're waiting for it to come to you. Whereas it seems as though it's time that you need to implement the next steps moving forward. Now, love is coming in. It looks like if you're connected with people, it looks like, you know, we're kind of in this place where, you know, things were a little quiet. Maybe things are settling in with you and somebody else. And now you're wondering what the next step is. What's the next plan? You know, like I said, so you could be having the talk this week. You could be talking about, all right, you know, this is great. This seems like I feel comfortable. You know, be mindful. If somebody pulls away from you this week, they could be thinking about you in that way. You know, they're pursuing, they're wanting to pursue this further. They're wanting to take the relationship further. And so the silence might overwhelm you, right? And, but this is also you starting to think about, you know, where this relationship is going. And to me, it feels really good for some of you. Like you guys are maybe having this conversation, and about the direction. You know, if some of you are single though, and you're constantly hanging out, this is like making plans to go places and do things. You got to initiate and make it a reality. You have your perfect vision, but we got to do something about it. Some of you could be waiting for somebody to come home this week. They could be traveling home, or coming back. If it's an online connection and you're connecting with somebody, it looks like you're still connecting. You're making it happen, but the distance could be the block that's getting in the way. Now, I'll look at Aries through Pisces for you, so we can kind of fine tune that with these two cards, because there is some space and quiet. Maybe you're needing a little bit of quiet time, for the dust to settle, for you to figure out. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out with Aries through Pisces. Now, in life in general, I'm seeing the High Priestess. You know, so this is quiet to me. It just feels like, you know, routine things, you know, that you need to take care of really could be coming up. There's a lot more going on than maybe meets the eye. Maybe you're hiding a lot of things, that's going on with, you're questioning spiritual things, you're questioning, your body, your life, you're questioning, but it doesn't seem harmful. It seems kind of quiet. It seems like some of you guys are just dealing with a quiet period here. And it's like, what do I really want? What do I need to take care of? And if there's things going on that you know that need to be confronted or dealt with, then this could be where you're planning. You're starting to figure out the next step when it comes to what I know I need to do. You know, trying to come into alignment, you know, and if this is around health or anything like that, this is where can I make some changes or improvements, you know, and it's more of an internal thing. So this doesn't mean you have to make a bunch of changes on the outside. So to me, it feels like I just need to connect with myself, connect with God, and decide, you know, what's really feels right for me. What do I really need to do? You don't need to tell everybody what's going on, because this does seem like there's some things that are going on that only you can deal with. Your advice, the World card, let things close and come together. All right. There are some things in your life that may be trying to complete themselves. They're done. You know, we've made it through a certain chapter, a certain cycle, and now we're ready for something more. We're ready to take the next step. And for a lot of you, it looks like you could be implementing that when it comes to even your own health and relationships. You know, but this is also any kind of unfinished business that you have that you know you need to complete and do, or if you're feeling stuck and you just, you know, this is where you can't sleep it away. You can't sleep your life away. You can't dream it into existence. You know, some may argue that, and yes, but it looks like if you've been dreaming and sleeping more than actually doing, then something's not working. We do have to implement something. So I am seeing here that to be or to get unstuck, or if you're trying to travel or go somewhere, you got to believe you can do it and trust in yourself. And, you know, this is the week probably to really start making things a reality. Now let's look at Aries through Pisces. You know, these are the two cards I'm seeing. You know, it may feel like you're avoiding something when it comes to love. You may take silence as rejection, or somebody's moving on if they're quiet. And or some of you just waiting patiently for it to happen, to show up. It'll happen. And you know, for some of you that have that ultimate faith, if you have, you know, I do believe if you have the ultimate faith, you know, and you just know God's going to provide, it's going to happen. I'm not going to argue you. I'm not going to sit here. And I mean, there are some people that just have that crazy faith and it just happens, right? But if it's more of an avoidance, or it's like you are being called to take action, but you're not, that's when it doesn't work. And if you have a lot of limiting beliefs, or you're just thinking you can think your way into a new life, that's where it can become a challenge. So if you're connected to Aries, I'm seeing the Star card. So it looks like Aries and you not losing hope. Somehow you're going to make it happen. All right. You both see the possibilities of the connection. You both think about each other. And it seems like neither of you are ready to give up yet. Now, both of you guys might be truly enjoying each other and truly in love. You guys both really did something for one another, which is, you know, why the two of you will naturally probably draw yourselves together, because you think about each other. Taurus, 3 of Pentacles, right? So how can we make this work? It looks like we need to renegotiate. We need to talk things out. We need to make a plan. You've got the 3s here. So it looks like you and Taurus could be really trying to talk things through. You know, let's try and what's the next step, you know. And this is where if a Taurus is holding back from you a little bit, they really could be thinking about you in a more realistic way. Like, all right, this is becoming more real with a Taurus. Gemini, where, you know, you guys have been struggling, you know, they're not taking it easy. It feels tough, but it doesn't feel like they want to give up either. Now, they could be, you know, struggling with other things. It doesn't have to do with you. And maybe you're wondering why they're quiet. But things are still moving and grooving. It doesn't look like they want to give up, but they could be going through a situation that's taking more of a toll on them than they expected. Cancer, Three of Swords. So Cancer dealing with some heartache, you know, feels the pain, feels disappointed in themselves or grieve in a situation that they didn't like how it turned out. You know, so you guys may be finding yourself kind of still separated, quiet. I see some healing energy happening. Give it time. To me, it feels like it's not the first time, it's not the last time. But we could be learning from each other. We're processing. So your Cancer could be trying to figure out why things happened, or they're dealing with their own loss of something and they're healing. Leo, 10 of Pentacles. So Leo's planning a future with you. Leo's thinking about all the possibilities of how this could work. You know, will you fit in with my family? Will I fit in with yours? Do we have the same value when it comes to money, living style, quality? You know, so they're kind of analyzing everything about this connection, maybe wanting to make it a reality. Virgo, thinking about going somewhere with you. Where can this relationship go? Maybe we can go travel and go somewhere and do something fun together and just see where it takes us. Libra, struggling over here. So Libra maybe has some doubts, or they just focus on the negative. Libra tends to just, I don't know, keep you at arm's length, or keep everybody at arm's length. They see problems and you know, and see difficulties. So, you know, maybe you are dealing with some difficulties with them. It could be just the mindset you're dealing with. So even if you guys are in a relationship and you're trying to work things through, just know that they tend to see the worst in everything, or get stuck in their head sometimes and lack mentality. And that can stress you out. Doesn't mean that you guys can't overcome this, but is what you're dealing with in this card. Scorpio, the Magician, you and Scorpio making magic happen. All right, you guys both want something from each other. You're both very attracted and drawn to each other. There's communication, at least starting or coming back around. Sagittarius, here we go. Sagittarius coming in, so it could be an on again, off again. You know, every time they come in, it's like, oh, this is exciting, but where's this going? So maybe this week you are having a talk about, we're making it real. And it could even be, you know, let's just go for it. Both you guys falling for each other, you know. So Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, 9 of Pentacles. So Cap doing their thing. There's a lot of good energy coming through this with them. You know, it's like I can see us, I can see your value, I can see this working. I'm very grounded. I see this being very successful. And so, but I do feel like there could be a battle of independency, you know, or control. And, but that's just, you know, adjustment periods. But it looks like you could be landing or making something a little bit more real with a Capricorn. Aquarius, King of Pentacles, same thing. Aquarius, it's time to bring reality. It's time to get things going. It's time to be responsible. It's time to work. It's time to get a job, right? It's time to think about all the things that take your mind away, and how can I make that my reality? You and another Aquarius here, you know, you got to make things real, got to focus on what's real. It's so easy and addicting to get caught up in your minds and fantasy, but we got to make it real. What's the next step? Could be your week this week with an Aquarius. And Pisces, I see the Moon card, right? So if there's just maybe too soon to tell. You gotta let the dust settle. Things are still uncertain between you and Pisces. You guys have emotions for each other. You definitely think about each other. But where things are at right now, it's still uncertain. I love you guys. All right, Pisces, June 22nd through the 30th. Let's get an oracle for the week and look at your energy, love, and then life in Aries through Pisces. All right, so I wonder what's going to happen next. Let's see. You got clock, time as well, time pressure, and in a rush. Where you going? Where you headed? Slow down, right? So this is going to be a week where time is really going to play a number on you. And, you know, the whole thing, time is an illusion. But also time is also how we gauge reality as well. So there's going to be moments when You could be feeling the pressure, feeling anxiety, and living in the future and trying to make something happen too fast. Or you're rushing to get things done and you may half-ass something, or, you know, choose something or settle with something because, you know, you're rushing and you're just taking whatever just so that you can get something done. And then, you know, also you could be procrastinating and not moving when you need to move. And you feel the pressure, but you kind of close down and lock down. And maybe you've let something go on too long and now you don't know how to, you know, get started, or you've been procrastinating for so long, you've really got to take that first step, you know, this week. Being mindful of pressure, because that can come across too, is like if you get into this mode where I'm under a lot of pressure and I have no time, or I'm running out of time, or all of a sudden I'm feeling anxious, you may come into rooms or come into a situation or a conversation like a bull in a china shop, and like the sky's falling, like, oh my God, I got to get this done, I got to, and everybody's like, what do you mean, what's going on? It's like, what is this, the end of the world? And it's because that's a feeling that's building up inside you, the pressure. This can happen in relationships too, where, you know, you let something build, or you get this energy of, I'm running out of time, something needs to happen, or I need to have some change in a relationship so I don't feel unsafe. You could come into a conversation with that energy as well too, and somebody's not realizing what the panic's about. So that's the Oracle of the week. Let's look at the tarot. And it's going to show up differently. Time shows up differently, and the pressure and the rushing. And sometimes we do have to rush a little bit, you know, to get to the next place, if that's, but be mindful, you know, of how we get places, how we do things. If we're late, who we knocking down to get there on time. Nine of Swords. So I don't know. Another zodiac had this today too. I think it was, I don't know who it was a Sag or Cap, but the stress, the anxiety, the unnecessary worry, if something's already been done, it's been done. You know, it's like how we ruminating over it. It's already over. It's already done. Or this energy, the Nine of Swords, like, I know I got to get this done, but I keep avoiding it and I don't want to do it. And so you can see all this pressure that's coming through. You know, some of it this week is going to be unnecessary worry, and some of it is going to be a lesson, you know, with these kind of energies. And there's an energy of regret here, and feeling guilty, and feeling like I said I was going to do something, but I didn't get it done, or I thought I was making the right choice, but I don't know, or I'm doubting that I can do this. Why did I sign up for this? Why did I say yes and I don't mean it? And, you know, it's like I'm running out of time. So be mindful of your stress levels this week when it comes to that. Seven of Swords, your energy. So there's a way to look at this card, and I want you to look at it this way too. The Seven of Swords, the lies we tell ourselves, the excuses that we give ourselves, the excuses we give others. We're not being honest. We're not being honest about our true feelings. You know, I'm scared about something, or, you know, I just don't trust it, or I don't trust myself. Is it the right time? I don't think it's the right time. But when you're in this energy, you never know if it's the right time. So timing can be off with the Seven of Swords because you're not trusting. You're not trusting yourself, your environment, the people around you. And so you will see deception. You'll think somebody is deceiving you, or you'll think the situation, or you'll just say things that aren't true, or somebody might say things and you might take it the wrong way, or you might not trust what they're saying. And somebody could be feeling like they're tiptoeing around you. Maybe you are feeling like there's some red flags. And so that's why you're rushing things. If I can hurry up and rush things and get to the point, or get this to hurry up, I will know the truth. I can trust it more. So there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of things around trust. Let's see in love in general, the Nine of Cups. So you're either questioning your desire, somebody's desire in you, right? You don't believe that somebody chooses you, but you have an energy here in love of blessings and attraction and somebody really seeing you. We are in a season, retrograde, obviously. So if you're somebody questioning whether somebody sees you or is attracted to you, that could be an old thought or an old belief that, could be worth exploring, because that could be where the anxiety is coming from, is some old feelings of I'm not desirable, or I'm not going to get what I want, or they're not going to choose me. Where it seems as though in love, you are chosen. Somebody chooses you and somebody's very satisfied, happy with how you make them feel, with the way you look, with the way you are. Somebody loves you, right? And if your partner, loves you, but there's trust issues, or, maybe you do have some things that you worry about, that you don't feel are desirable, but, you've been procrastinating on taking care of certain things that bother you or worry you. But it seems to be stemming from this anxiety over being desired, being wanted, and being chosen. In life, I see the Ten of Cups. All right. You're wanting the whole shabam. You wanted it all to come together. You wanted the whole picture. And it looks like you are prepared or preparing for this long term. You got the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Cups, which tells me somebody around you could be the person that's meant to be in a relationship with you. Your life is the people around you, your community, your family, your relationships, all matter to you, all have to be a part of the bigger picture. And so some of you could be feeling rushed, like you're running out of time, pressure on yourself because you think you should be further along in life than you are. You wanted marriage, you wanted happiness, you wanted a business, you wanted it all. And, there is somebody here, but you've got to trust that you deserve it, that you're worth it, that somebody wants you. Because if you don't believe that and you have this anxiety, you're not going to trust anybody that comes into your awareness, right? And you might even be afraid to commit with people because you have an image of what it is that you want. And if you're wanting marriage now and you're meeting somebody new, they can sense that I want this now. I need this now. I need to have all this now. I need it all to fit and be perfect now. And I do see that it's coming together for you, but there could be a slow down a little bit, you might be jumping in because when you're rushing things, you choose people that are really not the ones for you. And you could be ignoring red flags because you want this so bad. You want your life to come together. Your advice, Six of Cups, and this is beautiful advice, but it's also not what people want to hear all the time. Like, play in the sandbox today and enjoy the moment and see who you're really vibing with, and don't ignore the red flags that are coming up, and this could be reconciling with your past. There might be some trust issues because of past situations. The full moon could be bringing up, some people are meant to come, some people are meant to go, and we just got to find closure with that and move forward and not compare or not think that we're supposed to be where other people are at. Your time's coming. You have a soulmate here coming in, but you've got to wait for the right one, not ignore the red flags because you think or compare against what's going on with other people. All right, it's coming for you. Look at all this water energy here. All right. So, it could be something you're working on within yourself. And this can even be an old person coming back into your life, which is always a possibility. If you want it, you have free will. And it could be a new friendship starting, but, where we're trying to figure out who we are and what we want and what we need now, not what was yesterday, and what, not looking too far ahead. We're staying in the present moment, and we're playing, and we're just trusting that if this is our person, it's going to work out. We don't have to rush anything. We don't have to expect anything from each other. We just got to be with each other and see if we vibe, see if we jive, right? So let's look at Aries through Pisces. Now I'm going to reference these two cards, right? Now your energy is the Seven of Swords. So either you're in denial about a situation, which is possible, or you just keep telling yourself, put a lot of pressure on yourself, that you're running out of time, that you need things to happen. So you want to make sure you don't grab the first, thing or person or whatever, because out of fear. But I am seeing here, you have somebody around you that really chooses you, really wants you. So let's see what's going on with Aries through Pisces and see how it plays out. Because the question could be whether or not you truly want this, or if they are somebody who's just all about themselves too, because it could be that too. Aries, Two of Wands. So I am getting slow down with an Aries. This is Aries energy. Aries will choose. They definitely see and think about a future with you. Maybe they just don't want to jump in too quickly. It's like there's movement where I'm attracted to you. I want to get together, but I don't want to rush things. But at the same time, an Aries doesn't slow either. So Aries will reach out. Aries will want to do something. But the Two of Wands says you're just beginning something. So it is, slow down and see if this is the time period where you really choose if this could be the one, if this will be the one, if you'll be happy after the pursuit. Some of you could be enjoying the pursuit, but then get it and not want it. Taurus, the Emperor card. So Taurus really showing up. It looks like Taurus is all about you. But a Taurus is going to make their move when they're ready to make their move. They do have control, want to maintain control. But it does look like a strong relationship could be forming, but they're not going to rush things. So that's just the bottom line there. All right. So I am seeing possibility here of them taking action, wanting to build something with you. Gemini, you guys are continuing to build your relationship. It seems like they really got you on their mind. They think about you. They think about something you said. Or you guys are meeting, and each time you meet, you get a little closer. All right. But you're getting the twos here, which is saying, don't rush things. This is probably the most important part of the journey is what's coming up that frustrates you is things that are saying, this is this person. And if there's 10, 15 things that are frustrating you now, that's 10 or 15 things later that you're going to be trying to change. All right. You might get through them quickly now, but they will come back. All right. Hold on a second. I had to cough. Sorry. So let's see Cancer. Cancer is falling in love with you, right? So Cancer's got a crush on you too. So we are seeing the new beginning type of energy all throughout these cards, which is, it goes down to, we can't be desperate or want things too much. If we want something or someone too much, we're putting them on a pedestal, and that gives off a vibe of, it pushes people away. We don't realize it. It doesn't mean we have the intentions of doing so. But I'm seeing here Cancer here falling for you. Leo, Ace of Swords, you're on their mind, right? So we also see a new beginning coming in with a Leo. So I don't know if Pisces, what's your rush? What's your rush? Virgo, I know you want to get shit done maybe, but I got Virgo here. Virgo's got you on their mind too, and they're admiring you. They're saying less than they really feel. All right. So that's also they'll say what they want to say when they're ready. But you are getting a very attractive energy. They're thinking about you. Libra envisioning a future with you, feels comfortable with you. So again, you could be reaching a milestone with the Virgo. That could happen faster than you think. A Libra, I mean, because it looks like coming home or a reunion or wanting to cozy up with you. Scorpio, all right, there's some doubts with a Scorpio. Maybe you see this one coming. Maybe you just realize that maybe you just doubt it and you have too many doubts. If you have too many doubts about your Scorpio and you have too many red flags or too many things that have happened or just too many signs, I mean, you get to a point where you can't unknow things and you're keeping yourself stuck in it. Sagittarius, things looking good with a Sag, but they still really like to maintain their independency. So they're going to be a slow catch, but, you know, once you do, looks like, you know, they're worth the investment. Capricorn, looks like a conversation with Capricorn. You guys could be talking about the future. I will say Capricorn judging. Capricorn's watching, observing, and wanting to make sure that, you know, this is what they want. So if they do pull back a little bit, or it's just discernment. Aquarius, the moon card. Things are still uncertain within Aquarius. They keep coming around, but if nothing's changing, then nothing's changing. And that's just it. Nothing's changing. It's a on again, off again, or it seems like 1 minute it's good, next minute you don't know. It's still that energy. So I am seeing that there's feelings, but feelings don't make the world grow or improve, right? Feelings are good, but we need action. We need to see, show me the money, right? But it seems like it's still uncertain within Aquarius. And there could be deception. Pisces, 7 of Wands. So we gotta step up or step back, right? Speak our piece, and create boundaries, or assert ourselves, whichever one applies to you. Is it time to add pressure? Is it time to move? Maybe. Is it time to slow down? Maybe. Is it time to tackle tough, difficult situations? I would say yes. I would say yes, definitely with the Pisces. I love you guys. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this reading. Take care.